787 departure frequency time will be 1257.
25-7, thanks.
Hey everybody, welcome back to SciFi and Friends, episode number 404040. Number 40, isn't that cool?
I kind of got like 400,000 sorry.
4,440.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, wow, that's a lot of episodes.
That's quite a bit.
No, dude, episode 40. It's kind of cool. I know that because the last episode was Casey was on.
Right, when you got back from
The kayaking trip
and stuff.
Yes, and it was number 39.
So I saw the podcast post, but I didn't really listen to it because I wanted to hear it from you guys.
What do you want to hear?
The kayak story and why you came back so
That's why
early.
we made the podcast.
I know.
Casey will tell you if you take him out to Instant Karma and buy him a couple beers. Then he'll tell you. And since you have all that money, you got that nice car, you got all that money.
We just talked about this, Colton. Stop it.
No,
anyway.
dude. All right, welcome to SciFi and Friends. My guest today is my good friend, Aubrey Edwards.
Part 2.
Part 2. He was on once before, episode number 25, 6, 7. I think it was 29. I believe it was episode 29. Because episode 30 was my professor friend.
The one from Pitt,
Pogue,
right?
Joey Pogue. Yeah, Dr. Joey Pogue was number 30. But that day, I was so deep in trying to edit SciFi and Friends episodes.
Yeah.
Like I was 3 or 4 episodes deep, and that's at least 12 hours of podcast editing. And I was like, we're just going to podcast, and I'm not going to film because I can't even keep up.
Right.
But now, you're on. You're filmed.
Oh, great. People get to see my ugly ass face.
They're like, who is this girl? And you're like,
Dude, okay. Oh, that has happened to me so many times in the past, like, month. It's crazy.
It's your name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, right. That's where people get.
And, like, not even. God, it's so tilting. Like, it tilts me every time I think about it. It just makes me so mad.
What does that mean, tilt?
Anger, Colton.
Is that what the kids are using these days?
Anger.
Yo, better not tilt me.
You're tilting me,
Oh,
bro.
you're not gonna like me when I'm tilt.
So, like, do I have to have coins to tilt you that far? Or like,
There you go. That's like a Joplin, Missouri joke.
right? Oh my God, I fucking hate.
Hey, I had a lot of good times. I had a lot of good times in old fucking tilt.
I bet you did, Colton.
You know what? You know what was my my error? So like, growing up, we had a lot of parties there, like birthday parties. Like I'd have birthday parties.
I
there.
mean, I hope not drunken parties. 'Cause
Friends
it's kind
would
of a
have-
kid-friendly.
No, but that's a good
location.
idea, and we should
No.
probably do that.
We should not.
Oh, I think it'd be so much fun. They have a really, really good Jurassic Park game.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Anyway,
Oh,
so
good,
we
it's the
don't.
old one.
There's parties. I had many
Right.
parties there.
Right.
Friends had parties there.
Birthdays,
Yeah, throughout
13,
my
14,
adolescent years.
maybe even 18 if you're,
I'll tell you how it went for me every single time.
you pissed your pants.
Yes. No. They would. So like at a party, it was all. Now that I think about it, it's almost like free play at a casino. Like you go to the
Yeah.
birthday party and you get like, I don't know, $5, $10, $20. I don't remember
Yeah.
exactly how much, but it was a lot to a kid.
Oh, dude, like I think $1 was like 4 tokens maybe, or like 5.
And most machines probably took 2 tokens.
yeah, and
I
there
would
was
guess.
always people that forgot tokens.
Yeah.
So you just be like free fucking tokens.
Okay, so
out
here's what I would do, and this is my fault. This is my this lets you a little bit.
here. All right, people. Colton Seifert 2018. Here we go.
This lets you know a little bit about my personality. I would take all my tokens, all my free play, and go to the claw machine and lose it all trying to get
Oh my
a
God, Colton.
fucking iPad or something.
You realize all of those games are rigged to like a percentage, right?
I do now.
Like there is a 10-second delay of when you smash that button down and the thing actually going me.
Yes.
Me.
Well, yeah, but yeah.
Yeah,
So all the kids,
yeah,
they'd
sorry
be
about
off.
that.
They'd be playing like shooter games and racing games,
Having actual fun.
and I'd be done. I'd be
and,
like, well,
and you would
I
be
guess I have
feeding
to-
your gambling
I
addiction
have to.
as a child.
I'm not. I don't have a gambling addiction.
I mean, that's
No, I wanted it bad.
that's
dude.
like
I
borderline
wanted those
gamble
prizes.
addiction, bro.
I wanted those prizes. I wouldn't do it
Half those
now.
boxes were probably empty, right? It's called a bait and switch.
Well, they got me.
They got
I
you
wish
good, man.
a
You
good
got, like,
employee would have came over and been like,
$20 worth of tokens here, people. That's
yeah,
like,
spread out over about 10 years of birthday parties.
and if you heard the last podcast I was in, I'm obviously not good with numbers, so I'm not even going to ballpark it. All right, I'm just going to let it go.
Go ahead, ballpark it.
No, I'm good.
Come on. No, Aubrey thought
Like-
the half the population of the Earth was 50 million people. There's more people in America than that.
I know.
Anyway, what have you been up to,
I made a
buddy?
mistake. I mean, I've been working. Started doing CrossFit. Really want to get back into Jiu Jitsu too.
Right. We're thinking about going tonight.
Slowly dying because of CrossFit because it's so painful, but so worth it.
How'd that get started? Did Alkine like talk you into it? Or?
It took him 6 months of convincing for me to go, and I just got tired of just sitting in front of a computer and the
Like
TV and
playing CrossFit on Steam.
Yes.
Lift.
Smash that space bar.
I don't have a keyboard.
It's broken. What happened? I smashed the space bar too much. But yeah, I mean, pretty much that. Still driving around the new car. Yeah, getting ripped.
That's cool. Like, is that your goal? With
Yeah, I want to
CrossFit
get back
and
in shape, and I'm tired of.
Were you ever? I don't mean this to be like mean or
No,
anything.
you're good.
Were you
It's
ever
fine.
in shape? Like, was there a time where you like really were
High
killing
school.
it because of like high school
in
sports
high
and
school,
stuff?
yeah.
Yeah,
I did track and
Okay,
baseball a little
gotcha,
bit,
yeah.
and I was really active in free running, which
Right.
is very dangerous. Never doubt yourself. Just go full steam unless you know you're not going to make the jump. Then don't do it.
You were what kind of? Oh, you're talking.
Like, yeah,
what are those?
like
things?
free
What
running.
are those called?
Why'd you just do like the Spider-Man, like
Oh,
what?
Spider-Man says.
Whatever.
This is
Colton.
devil. This is like a donkey
Like-
that's
like
too
rock-
drunk.
Oh, God. Donkey that's
Those
too drunk.
those one things, hurdles. Are you talking hurdles? Like where you run around the track and you're jumping
kind
over the
of. It's
hurdles?
like free running is like getting from point A to point B however you can. Like you can go from say point
like
A.
obstacle course.
Yeah, kind of like that.
That
Like
was
you
in
know
track?
American Ninja.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't in track. I'm talking about like
Oh.
free running is in like itself
Oh,
away from
okay.
school
Oh, okay. I
with
got you.
friends and stuff. Like we'd be at the park going through the jungle
Gotcha.
gyms, like jumping off the heights and rolling and just keep running and
Would you guys like make up a route and
Yeah.
then, like time each other?
yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
never lost.
Really?
Yeah,
I challenge you
I will
to a
lose.
playground. Yeah,
You're
right.
in way more shape than I am. So
I'd like to do.
and
We used to
I'm
do.
sore as hell.
Not today.
No,
We
yeah,
used to-
today.
We used to do this thing, circuits. We
Yeah.
should fucking do them. We were gonna start like the day we were gonna start. It
Mhm.
pours down rain, and we just have been procrastinating ever since. But we used to do circuits to where they're about 10 stations or so, maybe 12,
Mhm.
and you have different things there. Mostly like kettlebells, maces, ropes. There's a tire.
Yeah.
All
Go
kinds
on.
of stuff. Anyway, I always wanted to ramp that up and have one station where there's pads.
Yeah.
A mat, and you have to roll for a minute, no gi roll.
Oh god.
Then I
remember
wanted to go
those.
over to an archery section where you picked up your bow and you had to
Mhm.
shoot like as many times as you could within 10 minutes, and then just like things like that to make
So
it.
like, would there be back to the archery thing?
Yeah.
Would there be like a target for you to hit, or
yeah,
you
yeah,
just
yeah.
like
There'd be a target.
free throwing it
no,
like fucking
no,
crazy?
no. There'd be a
Okay.
target.
I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah. You design it like I would take up the whole. There's 3 acres. It's 2
Mhm.
acres are in the back of this property.
you
I'd
do
take
have
up like
a
the
lot
2.
of space.
It's like
back
I'd
there,
have a 2-acre
so.
system to where
Yeah.
you are running around the entire field.
So
And there's different things there because I always wanted some sort of mental
Right.
game in there too. So like,
Yeah.
you're clinging and you're throwing kettlebell and you're doing the ropes.
Oh shit! I have to slow my heart rate down so I can aim this and hopefully hit the target.
That too, but then there's also like, you've seen heavyweights, haven't you?
No,
Oh my god!
we have a computer right here,
Oh
Colton.
man,
you
no,
can show
it's-
me, and then we
no,
can.
I'll have to.
Okay.
Oh man, that hurt, man.
I'm
That hurt.
sorry.
All right, it's a classic Disney movie. First time I've ever seen Ben Stiller. He's
Disney?
this. Yeah, dude. Hang on a second.
What?
I can't believe we're about to do this.
Disney's all about those gains, bro. All about those
Dude.
gains.
This is a
Okay,
classic.
I can't do these sunglasses. I'm sorry. It's
You know,
like,
as cool as fucking Tucker.
I know, right? I'll never be as cool as Tucker,
No one will.
right?
Dude, I can't believe you haven't seen Heavyweights. This is a classic. 1995.
That is old as hell.
Shut up.
That's before I was born, Colton.
All right, so anyway, let me give you the gist real quick. Basically,
Uh-huh.
it's a fat camp, like a summer camp for fat kids.
Nice.
Yeah.
This summer.
They were going to Taco Bell. Anyway, so they get there and the ownership has changed. It's changed by it used to be
Stiller?
Yeah, it wasn't a fat camp. It was
Whoa,
just like a
that-
summer
oh,
camp.
That just looks nasty.
It was just
Is
a
that duct tape with chocolate?
yeah.
What the hell?
So it wasn't it was just a summer camp. Like it was just for fun.
Right.
You know, people go there, they swim, they canoe, they archery, just
And
summer
then-
camp, for boys.
Yeah.
Well,
And
then
then-
this Ben Stiller character, Tony Perkins, shows up and he takes over the camp and he wants to make an infomercial about fat kids.
Oh god.
So
This just
fat
sounds
kids.
like a bad idea.
Oh no, it's so funny, dude.
Well, yeah. Oh, that's just gross.
See, and what the funniest thing is that these kids that they're showing are not fat. Like for 1995, I guess they were fat, but for today's standards, they're not fat at all.
Dude, that hairstyle is crazy.
Anyway, so oh, dude, you have to watch it. It's so
Yeah,
funny.
those kids are just kind of chunky. They're not really like
No, there's none of them that are like super.
fat. I mean, they're
No.
just like me, out of shape.
Yeah, just.
But like they have that kid energy. I have like adult energy where like 3 seconds and you're done.
Oh man, this is funny. This trailer is 2 minutes and 24 seconds. That's a long.
That's like half the movie.
Yeah, that's a long trailer, dude. I guess that kid's fat, but anyway, where was I going
let's
with
just
that?
throw
Oh,
that in
okay.
there
So
real
anyway,
quick.
so at the very end of this movie,
Mhm.
there's no spoilers or anything, but the end of this movie, they have like this big camp versus camp relay race.
So it's like a tournament.
It's a huge tournament, and
Nice.
there's all sorts. Anything that you've been doing for the
Mhm.
duration of camp, like
Yeah.
that's what you compete on.
Cool.
So there's archery. There's like a go-kart where each camp builds its own go-kart and then they race it in this race or whatever. Anyway, there is a part where during this relay, like you sit down and there's a person that's asking you trivia questions.
Oh shit.
And you're huffing and puffing and you're like trying to get going but these you have to know these trivia questions. I always wanted to add that in somehow to the circuit,
but not tell anyone.
Not
Just
tell
Let it
anyone.
be that wild card.
Not
Yeah.
too hard of questions either. Questions that were like
2 plus
you
2.
probably no, that was way too hard. But it's like questions that you probably should know, and if you thought about it logically, you could probably get it. Like I don't
Mhm.
know. I'd have to think about.
But
some
you would have to calm down and like,
right,
because your heart's going like 90 to nothing.
or give you like a brain teaser. Like I have a game in there called fuck, I don't remember it. I need to play it more. Something about brain, like brain games. That's what it's called. It's called brain games. Anyway, they have different categories, and some like one is lateral thinking, one
Yeah.
is puzzle breaking or puzzle thinking or whatever. It'd be cool to take cards, like 1 or 2 cards from that, and then
Mhm.
take them outside and then like play those against other people while you're lifting a kettlebell and throwing a mace and stuff. Think about like word problems. I don't know how we got there.
I'm just imagining this guy looking at this card while he's like
Yeah.
hurling around a maze, just like,
I don't understand. What is 2 plus 2? That'd be you. No, like I
yeah,
read this
probably.
thing. I read this thing the other day about geeks and geek culture and how like nowadays it's cool to be a geek
I mean,
or a nerd
Okay.
or whatever you want to call it. Like people are they're hey, turn take that off.
sorry. It was a question about bees and product.
fine.
I'm sorry.
Well, we should have gone. Anyway, it was saying about how nerd culture or what geek culture whatever
It's like hip now.
it's hip, but what
Damn
also
you hipsters.
what
It's
what-
nothing sacred.
What also is hip is being unhealthy. Like
Ugh.
it's cool to be a nerd that's small,
Right.
malnourished, and not very strong. And the guy went into quoting a couple of people back in the day, like
Mm-hmm.
not only did this guy win a Nobel Prize, he was an
Mhm.
Olympic weightlifter, or not only was this girl some great scientist, she threw shot put for the Olympics and stuff, or something
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
It was cool because to become the ultimate person, it almost seems like you need physical
mind and-
you need
yeah.
physical attributes, you need mental and spiritual, like all together. Those 3 working together makes this full person.
Yeah. Rather than just, fast food, sitting in front of a computer or TV playing video games.
Or writing massive amounts of code
Yeah.
that's used for SpaceX or something.
crazy.
That's awesome and all, but like I think you would write code better if you were throwing a kettlebell or
Yeah.
if you were rolling around jujitsu.
Something like get your blood going instead of
Exactly.
just sitting there stagnant.
Well, yeah, sitting there stagnant, and then lifting weights, as you know, builds muscle. It
Mhm.
builds confidence. You look at yourself in the mirror, and you're like, oh wow, I look good.
Yeah.
That builds confidence. I mean, when I'm working out hard, I sit up
Mhm.
straighter.
Yeah.
I walk straighter.
I'm kind of slouching right now.
Well, at least we're comfortable. It's fine.
Yeah.
But like you notice it. I notice
Mhm.
more of a confidence about myself.
Yeah.
When I really. But you know what else I notice? when I write every day, when I have the 3-page, what I call like vomit draft or vomit thoughts.
Dude, you're never not writing. Like, I remember at work, you were always nose in your book in between tables, like writing notes all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what you do as a writer. If you're a writer, you fucking write.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about, this is a thing I call vomit thoughts, and it's just 3 pages. Try to hit 3. It's kind of hard to hit 3, actually. It takes up a lot of time. Of just thoughts. Like, whatever comes to your mind. Even if it's like sometimes in the morning, I don't have any thoughts. It's like, I want to go back to bed. So that's what I'll write. Like, I wish I could go back to bed. It was warm in bed. This coffee tastes good.
Yeah.
You just start writing this garbage that no one should ever read. But what it does is it starts like jump starting.
It makes you think. And
well, the thoughts,
yes,
the thoughts that you're looking for, they start to kind of like come to the surface. And you're like, oh yeah, by the way, that thing. Anyway, when I do that and I meditate every day on a nice schedule of working out and eating healthy, I mean, I might as well be a god. I feel like it.
Yeah.
You know?
You feel instantly better.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've noticed that in the past 2 days. Like, I started 2 weeks ago, I started vaping just to, like, relieve some stress from work. It wasn't really, like, I wasn't as mad as I used to be.
Right.
But it wasn't, like, I didn't feel good. It was just, nicotine. Blah.
Right.
And then I started doing CrossFit after Alex convinced me, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. Everyone's super supportive.
Yeah.
Colton, remember my first day of jiu-jitsu, and I just, like, almost collapsed.
You did collapse.
Well, no.
You took a knee.
I took a knee, yeah. I didn't collapse, but...
Well, your operating system went offline, I'll say that.
Let's just say my operating system went offline again, and it didn't come back till it was over. Like, I just felt horrible because, like, I got through the warm-up, then I got through, like, 3 rounds of the first workout, and then we did it in 4 reps. Like, we would do the same sets of each time in 4 different reps.
Right.
Once you finished all 3, you went outside, ran 30 yards. I think, no, not 30 yards, like 300 yards or whatever.
Right.
And then you come back, do all of it again, and you had to do that 4 times.
Right.
I just did 3. Crap.
Number 3, my lord.
Number 3. And I didn't even make it to the running. Like, I just collapsed. But the second day, it was completely different. I got through everything. It was awesome. I felt great. The ride to me and Hose and Alex went to Jimmy's Egg, which I'd never been there before, but I've never heard anything good about it. So I was kind of skeptical at first, but it was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not Waffle House or Denny's, but it's there. It's its own little thing.
Right.
And the ride there, I realized I was kind of starting to get dehydrated, but I was remaining calm. I was just like, if I freak out, it'll get worse.
Right.
So I started to get better, and my hands started cramping.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This is after you worked out?
Yeah. And I was just like, crap, here we go again. And then it was because I didn't eat a very full breakfast. Like, I had a bowl of cereal and some orange juice, and that was it. But I didn't eat, like, super energy.
Right.
So my body was fighting for energy.
It was, or nutrition, right?
Yeah.
You wanted some nutrition.
And as soon as I got some water and some coffee in me, and then the food came after that, and I just felt awesome.
Right.
Impeccable. I was like, okay, so this is what I need to do. I need to start eating a little bit more for breakfast, and then when I'm done, I need to go and get something to eat again to keep the energy going, because I just used it all working out.
Right.
And that's something I had to get used to, because it was just like a culture shock for me, because I was just so used to sitting and playing video games and just being stagnant.
Right.
And then it just got boring. I was just like, I can't keep playing video games and stuff anymore.
Right.
So I got to do something productive.
Right. It's got its place.
And
you know, like, Arc is fun as hell.
Yeah. But like, I can't play it for like 3 hours at a time like you do.
Like 3 hours.
12 hours, sorry.
I was going to say, jack that sucker up to 16, yeah.
Jesus, man, that's so much.
I think the first day was 18 hours. No doubt. No joke,
Colton.
dude.
Psycho.
But we were trying to figure it out, you know. Casey and I were trying to figure it out, and it kept getting better and better and better and better, and oh man,
like feeding an addiction.
I mean, you have to eat food, you know. Like, people are like, oh, I can't eat carbs, oh, I can't eat that stuff.
Yeah,
it's like, well, if you
kind of need to.
Well, if you go do CrossFit, something like that on that scale, you are burning so many calories and so much energy. You have to replenish it.
Yeah.
Because you are torching it. Yeah. It's not just a normal workout, you know.
It's like it's like your whole body. is
whole
working
body, and it's fast paced.
Yeah.
Your heart's rate is pumping the whole time. You
Yeah.
know, extended periods. It's the same. Well, it's similar to rolling. When you're rolling for 5 minutes, like your body, if you're a white belt, is always tense the whole damn time. You know, it's like you're just trying to survive.
Yeah.
If you're purple, brown, or black belt, you know, you're not very tense. You just
Yeah,
you use the energy
It's
that you
just
need.
natural. Yeah.
But as a white belt and blue belt, yeah, you're tense as hell.
Yeah.
And that uses a ton of energy, and that uses different muscle groups than lifting weights does, because
Yeah.
it's, I forget what it's called, but like it's body weight. It's like a wrestling type of, like wrestlers
Yeah.
have a
It's
different
a grapple.
a grapple.
essentially.
They have a
Yeah.
different, grapplers have a different set of muscles that they use. It's more of, you know, like a bench is this, you know, this direction.
It's like one singular motion.
One singular motion.
Whereas, like grappling or CrossFit is like a whole bunch of different motions. in your body.
Grappling for the grappling the most
Yeah.
is every direction at all times. You know, because you're
Yeah.
pushing, you're pulling, you're tugging, you're rolling, you're all these things.
Good rhyme.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
But yeah.
CrossFit's similar in the same way, is that you're clinging and you're squatting and you're pull-ups and now you're sprinting and now you're back to cleans and you're
Yeah.
doing all these things that are hitting these muscle groups, and they're all working together,
Mhm.
and they overlap a little bit too. So
And
you
if
cling
you're
a
not
few
used to
times.
it-
Oh God! If you are used to it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I see Alakine on the Snapchat, and he's laying on the ground, breathing as hard as he possibly can. Eyeballs are about to blow out of his head. And it's like, how long has that guy been? 6 years? Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, does it get easier? I don't know. I guess.
I mean, maybe like I feel like maybe once your body gets acclimated to it, it gets a little easier. But essentially, it's still going to be the
But
same
that's-
difficulty.
yeah, but
because
that's-
you're going up in weight,
Exactly.
and it's just constantly changing.
Right. That's what Arnold Schwarzenegger would talk about when he would do his weightlifting, is he would never do the same lift. He would never start with the same lift
Yeah.
twice or whatever. Because
Always
he would
change.
shock the muscles. Shock the muscles. Is what he would,
to the chopper.
he would say, shock the muscles, in the
Right.
sense of, if you always start out doing like, oh, I'm at the gym, I'm going to do my curls.
Mm-hmm.
Like your muscles kind of know, like your brain
Yeah.
kind of knows, like, okay, he usually does about 30 reps of biceps.
And then all you can do is 30.
Exactly.
Because that's what your body is wanting you to do.
Well, if your brain kind of understands that and it sets aside just enough energy for 30 reps, it's like,
Mhm.
okay, he usually does 30. Give him.
It's
him
like
that
one of
much.
those mind over matter kind of things.
Sort of.
where you got to take control and not let
Yeah.
your body get used to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole idea behind high intensity
Mhm.
workout, or high intensity interval training.
Yeah.
HIIT, HIIT. Instead of running a continuous lap or two to
Mhm.
make a mile or 10
Yeah.
miles or whatever, you sprint incredibly hard for X amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for instance, soccer players do this a lot. They sprint as fast as they can and hard as they can for 30 seconds. Just straight. Like, you're just 30
My heart
seconds.
would explode.
Oh, imagine. It would be pounding for
Yeah.
30 seconds if you sprinted as hard as you could. Then this buzzer goes off, and for a minute, you jog. Now, imagine that. Your body's like, try jogging after you just sprint for 30 seconds.
I'd
right?
probably collapse.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Then another beeper goes off after that minute, and you sprint again for 30 seconds. And then you jog for a minute, sprint for 30 seconds. Anyway.
That's what we did in track.
Yes. Well, what that
Seneca.
does is it trains your body and your mind not to know how much energy that you need. They're just like,
Mhm.
whoa, okay, I don't know how far he's running. I don't know what he's doing, but give him all the energy that he needs.
Yeah.
Like, it turns your metabolism on fire.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
really,
kind of what happened to me. I want to say Wednesday morning is whenever. Yeah, because today's Thursday. That was
Yeah.
yesterday when that happened.
right.
That's kind of what happened to me, is because I think my metabolism went into overdrive.
Oh, of course.
Not like it used to be. And like it kind of started to shock me. And then it would go away and then would come back.
Like
it was like-
pain?
Yeah.
Like what kind of pain?
Like just like someone sitting there pinching me repeatedly.
Yeah, right,
And like a dull kind of pain.
right,
But once I got some food, I was like perfectly fine.
right,
It was like
right,
nothing even happened.
right. Well, when you go from doing nothing to pressing W and up and down and your mouse, all the way to throwing clings and squats and sprinting, like, it's going to take a little bit to...
Yeah.
You're young enough, though, that it doesn't take as long, but
Right.
there's still a factory
But
period.
yeah. Got to break those chains.
Now, the key is to keep doing it.
Oh yeah, I
you
plan on
have
it.
to.
Yeah.
You have to. Even when you're like, fuck this, I'm not doing it. I'm playing fucking God of War. I'm not doing it. No, you have to go, dude.
Yeah.
Even if it's a terrible my mentor, good friend Adam Ayers used to talk about. It's actually a metaphor for going to church or not going to church.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you were at a place where church isn't very good, like I'm not gonna go because that church isn't very good. But maybe that's all you have. You live in a small town, and he would always say, "Oh, a bad workout is better than no workout."
True.
Okay. So it's like, okay, even if you feel like shit and you're tired and you're sore,
Just keep going.
just go to class.
Yeah.
Have a terrible class, but at least you're there and at least you do the workout.
Yeah.
And then the next day or the next week you come back and it's like you feel, I don't know,
Feel good.
you feel good about doing it.
Yeah. And then that's when you start getting addicted to it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, this is working now. Like it takes a while.
Right.
Eventually, it's just going to be second nature to you.
It's the same with anything. I'm thinking of deer hunting. I've never regretted going deer hunting in the morning. I have regretted not going.
Yeah.
When you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, it's -0 outside or however freaking cold you want to pick.
-32.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you go to the tree stand. It's dark, freezing. You're tired. You're all
You start
alone.
falling asleep in the stand.
Oh, you fall asleep in the stand. There's all those things where you could be back in your bed at grandma's house. It's nice and comfy. She's got the heat way up high. It feels great. But I've never regretted leaving that bed.
Right.
It's been tough as hell.
Yeah.
But when I get out there and I get woken up and I have a good morning, whether I see something, I kill something, I don't see anything, I'm just out there hunting.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got up, you know. Now I have regretted not getting up, you know, and like, damn it, man.
Like maybe I should have went.
I should have been in the tree stand.
Maybe I could have got something, you know.
Yep. Yep.
Maybe you've had like an off season where you haven't got anything. Because me and my dad have had that.
Yeah.
Like we had that this turkey season.
Oh, really?
Like we went, we never got a single turkey.
Yeah.
It was rough. I saw one turkey.
Yeah.
But we didn't have a full choke on the shotgun, so I didn't have super range.
Right.
And I came around this brush pile, and I saw him. I was just like, oh, here we go. Boom. Clipped him. Okay. Boom. Just completely missed. Because, like, all the spread went around him. I was like, I was right on the dot.
Right.
But since there was no choke, it didn't condense any of the pellets. It just was shot everywhere.
Yeah.
And then it flew across the river, which it's a big freaking river. Like, you cannot jump this river. And if you try to, you will not get out of the river because it's just like it's one of those like cliff kind of faced rivers where you fall in, you're gonna have to swim like maybe a mile down to even try to get out.
Oh wow,
because it's like
so steep.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And it's all mud. And it's just it's not good.
So you guys didn't get one?
No.
It happens, man.
Yeah.
Deer season for me this last year was rough.
Yeah.
I sat in the stand. Oh, I bet you I sat in the stand 20 times, 25 times. And I saw a deer 5 times, like doe or a buck, like 5 fucking times. It was rough.
You usually go with your bow, don't you? Like you never take a rifle.
No, I don't really do rifle.
I forget you're caveman.
Well, it's a compound, so
right.
Yeah, ain't no recurve or anything like that. But
I let you use the recurve.
But there's boom years too. There's years where you're just slaying them.
Yeah.
And the thing was,
like
for this,
the rut was like perfect.
Yeah.
Now, here we go.
Like the thing about this last year for me is that I got in my head, like Instagram got in my head, and I wanted to get a big buck to put on Instagram, and I was like, man, I can get sponsored, and I can start giving speeches at Bass
Something
Pro.
to give you a little bit of drive.
Yeah, but what did it do? What happened is I passed up on a lot of does, a lot of stuff that would have filled my freezer.
Yeah,
and I was like, no, I'm waiting for a big buck. I don't want to taint this stand. Sure enough, season gets around to like Christmas time when how can you go fucking hunting? There's all these parties and bullshit going on.
Right.
I didn't have one. I killed. I think I got it 1 doe or something like that.
Jesus.
Yeah, but I learned my lesson because I could have killed doe. I could have killed 1 doe. Came underneath my stand 5 yards away, broadside, looking into the field, and I just could have. It would have been like I could have thrown the arrow and killed it. But I was like, nope, I'm not. I'm waiting for the buck. So hard lesson learned. But like this year, I'm gonna be a fucking murderer. I'm taking down as many does.
Sorry,
as I can.
Bambi. Your mom's not coming home this year.
No. I'm gonna stock that freezer because even right now, what is it? About August, September, October. So I still have to at least make it 2 more months. Yeah, and it's kind of like, it's gonna be close.
Right. Now, to me, I think deer tastes way better than beef, like cow beef.
Really?
Yeah,
I do too.
Maybe it's because I grew up on deer.
Has to be.
And we never really bought like beef from a store, from a cow and stuff.
Well, even when we had ground meat, they called it ground beef. It was deer.
Yeah.
So like growing up, I'm just like, oh, okay. It wasn't until I was like late 18, 19 years old when I saw at the supermarket or the grocery store or whatever that there was meat, that there was beef, ground up beef that had like 25% fat. I never noticed that. Like I grew up on
like lean.
Oh my
deer.
God, 0% fat.
Yeah.
You know, they was completely lean.
Yeah.
I didn't understand about this
It was
marbling.
like dry.
Yeah, and then it could be.
Yeah, right.
And then going and working at Red Oak, and the fuss that they do about aging the meat and the marbling and everything. Like I had no idea about that because we had cattle too, and we'd butcher one every year or whatever. But that was grass fed, super lean, you know, kind of thing. So I was not exposed.
It wasn't
to that
like
sort of thing.
grain or yeah.
And when
straight.
so Dad never went out to eat. Mom never really went out to eat. So like growing up,
you guys always had food.
well,
you
they're country folk like your parents, you know, like just society
Garden,
is like they just
we don't do that GMO shit.
yeah, that like Dad never. I mean,
Yeah.
God, I can't remember. I wonder if Dad's ever been to a fucking movie theater. He might have gone
Your
to see
dad?
he might have gone to see like Jurassic Park, but
Star Wars.
no, I don't
Really?
even Star Wars. No, dude.
Is he not into like sci-fi or?
He is, but like just going to a theater, like society type things, like
Yeah.
he's just not. He
Okay.
doesn't participate. Yeah,
Right.
he'll sit at the house and watch
TV
space
and-
documentaries all fucking day.
Yeah,
But as far as like, let's go to the theaters.
that
Let's-
doesn't happen.
No,
Yeah.
no. But yeah, that's just chickens.
I was about to say I can hear them, but they're not like.
Over here.
Yeah.
Cool, dude. Well, that's. I'm glad you're doing that.
Right. I can't believe we've been talking for 31 minutes. Feels like it's been longer.
Oh, jeez.
I'm just giving you crap.
Poor Aub. He wants to go.
No.
Get me out of here.
Nah. This is a breath of fresh air for me. It's better than being at home. So.
Yeah, that's good. You still live with your mom and dad?
Yeah.
That's good, man. I mean, Casey moved back in, and he makes a big fuss about it. But man, I just think it's such
All the money he's saving.
I know it's such an opportunity. Like,
yeah.
If I moved back in with mom and dad, I mean, I guarantee I'd have an extra $1,500 a month.
Yeah.
To spend on things, you know.
Right.
That's a lot of debt to take care of for a couple of months.
Yeah.
Granted, why don't I? Because I don't want to, you know.
And you're married.
And I'm married and stuff.
And you guys kind of need your privacy. So.
Well, Carissa and Ryan, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, Kelsey's sister, she had some outstanding medical bills because she didn't have insurance and she had like a heart failure or something
Jesus.
Something that was not
something that is not cheap to fix.
hell no.
Yeah.
And they end up moving back in with Marty and Susan for a year, 2 years, something. It was quite a while.
Yeah.
But during that time, like all their money
They
went to
took
pay.
care of it. Yeah.
Yeah, they got stuff taken
huge
care
chunk.
of. They didn't have
Yeah.
any kids either.
Right.
So not only did they get debt taken care of, they got to save up a little bit. Like they used it they used it the correct way. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like to you and,
Yeah.
and to Casey and stuff.
Oh, trust me, I'm saving money.
Oh,
It's
you got a
just
good
like-
job too.
Yeah. Red Oak for life.
Oh, it's fucking pud work. Ton of
Yeah, dude,
cash.
it's super easy.
Yeah, tons of cash. And you work what, 5-6 hours at a time, 8 hours on the weekends. Like,
Yeah.
it's well, I guess back servers, you guys come in an hour or two early.
I do, not
Yeah.
Joe. Though, so Joe comes in on time. I come
Shots
in early.
fired. Shots fired.
Shots fired, Joe. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, the only real downside to it is the lack of privacy.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, okay, before you come in my room, knock. If you know I'm in the restroom, knock. Because
Yeah.
I need privacy.
Right.
Like, I don't want to, yeah.
Right. It makes total sense. I talked to another mentor of mine, Wes Warner, and I remember one time he was saying that you'll become a man. You know, at some point your mind will change.
Yeah.
And you'll go from a boy and you'll be a man and you'll feel it. And
Yeah.
I remember when that happened to me. He said it's going to take a lot longer for your parents to treat you as a man than you changing your mind to be a man. It's like,
Yeah.
oh shit. Because they look at you and it's
That
like,
makes a lot of sense. Like, this is my kid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even though what are you, 22?
3.
23? So you're 23 years old. I'd say you're a full grown man, makes his own decisions, you know, has his own car, like all these sorts of things. Yet parents look at you like still shitting diapers. And that's how they treat you. That's how they treated me, you know?
Yeah.
Like they don't, and part of that is like, well, you are living at home.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things where you're in our house, our rules will give you your privacy if you follow the rules.
Right.
Kind of things.
Right.
I feel like they don't say that, but I can definitely get the vibe from them.
Right.
And like I help around a lot more than I did whenever I was in school.
Right.
Because I, acknowledge that, hey, they do a lot for me. They did do a lot for me, so I got to return that.
Right.
And
just living at the house, it's
right.
Pitch in.
Yeah.
Take trash out. That kind of. It's what you have to do.
Yeah. And we've started renovating the house too a little bit.
That's cool.
Like we started doing a whole new thing with the deck. I helped my dad a little bit with that this morning, and of course, I'm sore as hell. So that was kind of rough at first, but then I was just like, okay.
Dad, I've been doing CrossFit.
Dad. My legs hurt.
He's like, well,
body.
cling that
Right.
roof up to me.
I need you to help me clear the wood from the garden. I was like, fine.
Okay.
We'll do it. And yeah, so that's pretty much how it's been. Like, just helping.
Yeah.
Keeping out of trouble, which is really hard to do with that car. Speaking
Really?
of, on my way up here, speaking of my car, I did remember when we did the shoot for the commercial and stuff for the car?
Mm-hmm.
I took that way here, and the Prius was behind me, and this chick was riding my ass. I was like, what are you, I'm going the speed limit. What do you want? She started past me, and I was like, there's no cars coming. I was like, I ain't letting a Prius pass me, all right?
Right.
I will lose my man card so fast if I let this
Might as well
Prius
go
pass
trade
me.
that thing back in.
And I just gunned it, and she looked at me like this.
Was she hot?
No.
Oh.
She had her mom in like the past. I was like, why are you speeding with grandma in the car? What are you doing? Like, you're putting her life in danger.
Right.
And I was just like this the whole time.
Like,
Why are you doing that?
How can a Prius go that fast?
I know. Like, how can you top out at 110 when I'm going like 130?
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I thought the governor would kick in. I don't think they have one.
Really?
So that's pretty-
you got one.
Maybe. Maybe
So
it's
you
like
have to-
higher up there.
God, you went 130?
Yeah. I didn't even know. It felt like I was going like 80. It was so smooth.
That's scary.
When I saw it, I was just like, oh no, there goes my insurance.
I think I've been 110,
And
if not
no.
120. I think it goes up to 120, but I don't think I've ever passed 110
Yeah.
because it's just so fucking sketchy. I mean, 100 miles an hour is like, whoa.
Yeah. Like, I'm about to break the sound barrier.
That's what it feels like.
But yeah.
But it's so crazy because at that speed, at fucking 90, if something ran out in front of you, if a tire blew, like when you cross from 80 into
Dead.
90, yeah, you've basically
just-
signed your death warrant. Like anything goes wrong from here on out, you're dead.
Like, here you are shaking, and then
Yeah.
there's death, like, right here, like this. Hey.
Any second.
Anytime.
A cow's out. He walks out like, okay, let's pretend. What do? Do you swerve?
I'm going to take that cow out.
Okay, that's even worse.
And then I'm going to try to stop.
That's probably even worse though.
Well, see,
Hitting
like,
a cow at 110 miles an hour.
it's like hitting a wall.
God.
Except the wall moves.
Oh God.
I mean, yeah, it's a terrible idea, but it's better than swerving and still dying.
Well, maybe not swerve, not like, oh, fuck. Like, maybe I'm going to try to go around it.
Like Tokyo Drift kicks on, and you're
Yeah.
just like,
But, what happens then is, like, you get around the cow, and you're like, oh, then you start
Then you just
spinning, and then
fishtail, and yeah, barrel roll.
Let me ask you this. How much of our reality is influenced and manipulated by
Cows?
the consumption, by our consumption of media? Like, how much of this reality is false because of the consumption of our media? For instance,
I'd probably say 75%.
like a huge percentage of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to get into 75 car wrecks. Out of 75 car wrecks, only one is going to be like cinematic, where it's like,
Like, this shit was directed by Mark Wahlberg,
No.
right?
no, Michael Bay,
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the thing we were talking about earlier about, looking at your own symptoms on WebMD, right? Terrible idea.
Very
Don't do
bad
it.
idea.
Terrible idea. Awful.
Colton did it. He has cancer, guys.
Dude, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, you look up your things on WebMD. Well, in the movie, the guy has cancer, or the guy has some crazy sickness, or the guy is blah blah.
But
blah,
in
blah,
real
blah.
life, he doesn't. He's perfectly healthy.
Real
It's
life is
all-
99% boring, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
But, like, what's that 1%, though, that makes it fun?
no. Not that life is not fun. It's just not as compared to a TV show or something. It's not nearly as exciting. It's just like, oh, I'm sick. I got the flu. Now I'm better. Not, oh,
Right.
I have cancer and I have to fight this, and now I'm going to give speeches to other cancer fighters. Like, that does happen.
Right.
But it's so fucking rare. Like 99% of people,
That doesn't happen to them.
they just live this normal life.
Yeah.
They just get up, they go to work, they have family, they have hobbies, they dreams and hopes, and basically live a pretty decent life.
I admire these people.
Yeah. Well, you're one of them.
I mean, yeah, but they don't. I feel like most of those people don't really think outside the box like you do.
No. I'm not.
Like,
I'm not saying that they're simple or anything. I'm just saying that life is simple, and most of us just kind of live.
Fault,
like, think about I'll tell you about my day. I'll tell you about my last month. Like, I did my job. I worked on the documentary. I had weekends off to kind of hang out with my wife. We went to dinner. We swam in her parents' pool. We grilled out. Like, it's totally normal.
Yeah.
You know, day after day. And I think that's how most people's lives are. Now, every once in a while, you have like an extraordinary life where there's a great world war and all your friends and family get killed, but you survive, and now you're fighting this government. And, like,
Yeah.
That's extreme.
Yeah.
Most people just kind of live this daily
Day to
life.
day.
Yeah, daily life. So, but that was my point. How much of like a car wreck? Like, I'm thinking in my head, 110 miles an hour. You are Fast and the Furious, like end over end, crashing, ripped apart, blown up. Right?
Yeah.
Probably not. That's probably just a movie. You know,
It's probably like,
I've watched too much TV.
Okay, I'm gonna swerve and miss this cow.
Right.
And possibly die, or I'm gonna hit this cow, slow down, and keep myself from hurting someone else.
Right.
Because cows are pretty tough. Like, I feel like you probably hit a cow at 100 miles per hour, and it'd probably, break its leg. We'll see. Let's look.
I think you'd explode it.
It's not like shooting it with a rocket launcher, man. Like, Jesus. Whoa.
Cow hunting.
999 miles per hour.
Kangaroo
fidget
gets
spinner
destroyed by
versus
buggy.
body parts
Alright, I'll
gone
watch
wrong.
This kangaroo gets hit by a buggy, which
That poor kangaroo. That poor Joey.
I can't see anything.
I don't even see where's the Oh shit. Oh, he doesn't get. Oh my god.
All right, you have your.
That was not what I expected.
Okay. Why did that happen? So that's what's gonna happen to a cow. For the people listening, just listening, this buggy is what the.
I'm just
video,
awestruck right now, dude. Like I can't hang.
The
Holy
video, this buggy
crap.
or like go-kart off-road thing is going
that
100
was
miles
a
an
dune
hour.
buggy for sure.
A dune buggy type thing. And a kangaroo jumps out and gets hit. All you see is a spray of blood and nothing is left. It's just like it vaporized.
It showed the kangaroo.
It did?
Yeah, if you go back a little bit, it showed it like rolling. Oh my god, dude.
Oh, so
Jesus.
there's
Like,
parts of it.
Like, keep going. Right there.
Oh!
You see it?
Holy shit.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
that is intense.
Holy crap.
Boom.
That buggy is unfazed.
What the
Totally really, and then the dude punching the.
That's a classic.
Right.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Oh my god.
So that changes my mind on. Oh my god, cars are so dangerous. Vehicles are so fucking dangerous. So imagine that. Now imagine a full-size car, like a truck, hits a cow at 100 miles an hour. It explodes. There's pieces of it, but it explodes.
And the truck survives because it's a truck.
What sort of physics is behind getting hit by something that hard? Like, what happens to your molecules?
I feel like they're gone.
I know, but how? How?
It's like just. Well, you're getting hit with such a force, like the human body can only handle so much force, right?
Right.
Like how much force would it take for the human body to disintegrate like that kangaroo
This
just
is not
did?
good.
Is he gonna hit that rhino?
I don't know. Oh, no, this run. Oh,
Oh, that rhino's gonna hit that car.
fuck. I wish that
Why is
car
it
would have.
hitting that car?
I wish that car would have flipped.
Uh-oh.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit. That is probably what would happen if you hit a cow.
No, they weren't going 100 miles an hour, though. Oh, fuck.
That is what would happen.
That, I mean, that he's probably going 60 or 70.
Yeah. No, don't hit that.
It's a hippo.
What's it? Oh.
It's gonna charge.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
I would be thinking the same thing. Shit.
Oh, it's still pushing.
Oh, it's eating it. It's like biting it.
Oh man, this is great. Oh, it's a fucking bear. Wow, that didn't do shit to that car.
No. It probably has a brush. Oh yeah, I think it has brush guard on it.
This is like a tractor.
Mm.
Oh no.
Was that a rabbit?
I don't know, but it got hit by the first car.
And then launched it into the other car.
That's a deer.
Oh, no? No, it's not.
It can't be a rabbit.
Oh, yeah, it's a deer.
Why is that sound? Why?
You know, that's a good question. Now, have you seen the video, Colton, where...
Oh, that bear's fine.
It's okay?
Wow.
Oh. Well, I mean, that's good.
Oh no.
It just...
Oh.
Oh, shit.
It's dead.
But, like, did you see it ran into the side of the car?
Yeah, that one. Oh.
That was a motorcycle.
That's a motorcycle?
That's a motorcycle.
Oh, wow.
Have you seen this one? No? Yes. Why is it doing that simple? Like, it's like a door. Oh, it got up.
It got up and ran. But
Okay.
what's it?
But,
Internal bleeding or something?
No, definitely. There's it might show it on this. There is a...
Oh, that was a moose.
Jesus Christ.
Man, I got to get me a dash cam.
See, I thought that car's fine. Nothing even happened to that car.
Yeah. Oh.
See, that's one of those things where I wouldn't swerve.
Because you go off the road like that, and
I would have just flat out hit him.
I mean, I guess that's a strategy. I don't know. That's
Well,
moose
they
are
say
big.
I've heard that it's best just to go ahead. Now, it's really inhumane. I'm sorry if this might offend some people, but I hear it's better to go ahead and hit the animal rather than put your set. That just sounds really selfish. But
No,
I mean,
no. Well,
like
humans are more important. I would say you're the most important human, right?
no.
Self-preservation.
Well, self-preservation wise, yes, but as in like actual terms, no, I'm not.
But to yourself
Right.
though, like if
I'm gonna do what's best for me
right,
at the time
exactly,
of the crisis.
you're gonna keep yourself alive a lot longer than you're gonna keep other people alive.
Actually, no.
Well, I mean, okay, you have your example of like family and friends.
Yeah.
You could save them or something, but most of the time it's like you're gonna keep yourself safe first, you know.
Yeah, give or take.
All right, well, tell me where I'm wrong.
Women and children.
Well,
If
that's
they
what I
were-
mean. That's what I mean. Okay, yeah,
Well, you
there are
said-
situations.
You said friends and family. Let's be real here. I was like, well, not quite.
Well, okay. There are moments where a person can be heroic and give up his life.
But they're
whatever.
also like you were.
99% of the time
It's
you're
gonna
just
be
protect.
selfish. Yeah.
If you hear gunshots in Walmart, what are you gonna do?
Do I
Probably
have
go
a-
out the front door.
Quick. Do I have a gun?
No, you left it in the car. Yeah, you're the one shooting.
No.
I heard gunshots. Yeah, they're from fucking you.
They're from you. Wait, what?
No, I mean like if you are in Walmart and you hear gunshots, most likely, and you don't have a gun on you, you're gonna go out the front door if you're close to it. You know, that's what
Yeah.
I would. I'd just be like, all right,
I'd call
fuck.
911
Well,
at least
As you remove yourself from this
from the scene.
situation,
Yeah.
right? Now, would some people go running and looking for the gunman? Probably.
If they have a gun.
I would imagine military people might do
Mhm.
that because they've been in active combat or whatever.
Yeah.
Or if you have a concealed carry, maybe
That's
you
why
would
I
go.
always have a gun on me, is in case that situation where if there's someone trying to shoot
Even then, though,
unarmed people.
I would remove myself
Yeah.
from the. I would just step out the front door and just be like, okay, now at least I have a giant wall protecting me.
Like we did at Academy when that kid threatened to kill.
He was retarded, and
Anyway, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time.
yeah. Interesting
yeah.
about the car thing. I
Yeah.
love how there's compilations of anything you want to find.
Just about, yeah.
That compilation was cars or animals hit by cars, and it was 22 minutes long.
Jesus, that's a lot of holy crap.
Well, if you have 7 billion people on the planet, and let's pretend that
Is that a real number though?
that is a real number.
Are you sure it's not 50 million?
No, it's not 50 million.
God.
And let's say that this less than a billion.
The Earth?
Less than a billion of them
Jesus, 7.4.
have cameras, right?
Oh yeah, dude. 1.3 billion people are in China. I guarantee you, every one of them has
Earth
a camera.
population with cameras. Okay, so there's probably like
UK has 1% of the world's population. What?
I don't know, but let's say if there's 7.442, and that was 2 years ago. So there's probably 7.5 billion people on this earth, like humans.
Yeah.
How many of them have a dash cam, and how many of them have a phone that has a camera on it?
Good number.
Billion? 2 billion?
I'd probably say like maybe 3 billion.
I'm saying 2 or 3 billion people. That'd be my guess too.
Yeah.
So imagine that 2 or 3 billion people, 2 or 3 billion lives being filmed at all times. You're gonna hit some animals.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
You're gonna. Have you ever? You probably have messed around or watched any videos on Faces of Death.
No.
Okay, so think about this. YouTube has all these compilations. You can type in anything you want on YouTube, and you'll get a compilation of fails, right?
Oh yeah.
Car crashes, near misses. They even have things called wins, like where something good happens.
Yeah.
Like it's just that lucky. Like no way that fucking happened.
Right.
Fails, wins, compilations, all kinds of things.
So I assume Faces of Death is like mistakes that end in.
Think about all this shit that happens in the on planet Earth on a daily basis. And I know we just talked about most people live 99% of their lives trauma free.
Yeah.
And I still think that's true.
But our life expectancy is 71 years.
But yes. But there is shit that goes down every single day.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Easily.
You hear crazy stuff. It doesn't happen often, but it happens.
Yeah.
Where so and so open their car door and a car tore them in half. Like shit that you're just like, well, that wasn't supposed to happen, right?
Yeah.
And then that does that to you. What you just did right there, I know that feeling. That's like, oh man,
I think my heart just broke.
Yeah, exactly.
Man.
But it's just like this weird, unexpected thing. It's like what the Joker says, like, if a truckload of soldiers gets blown up, nobody bats an eye. But one little old mare gets killed. Well, everyone loses their mind because it's not part of the plan. It's not part of the script.
Yeah.
I think that's totally, totally true of life. It's like,
that's very accurate.
Oh, how'd the guy die? Oh, he died of cancer. He was 99 years old. It's like, well, okay. That's to the script. How'd he die? He died of cancer. He was 13 years old. Holy shit. That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, because it's the age gap.
Or whatever it is, it's just like, wow, that's not how our story of life goes. But that's the funny thing, is that life is just this chaotic bundle of insanity.
Yeah.
And we think we have a story. We all tell each other this story. You're born, you have a childhood, you get married, or you get a job, or you go to school, or, it's like there's several different choices you can do. But basically, you do these things, you get old, and then you die. But you have grandkids, and you have
a lineage.
You have a lineage, and you live a life.
Yeah.
That happens. Happens a lot, I would say, especially nowadays because of medical technology and internet and stuff like that. But there's also crazy shit, like
unexpected shit,
chaotic shit. Like I'm thinking of the Kemps, a good friend of mine. She couldn't have been early teenage years, and her mom was a middle school teacher, and they were coming back from vacation Bible school, and a drunk driver, they were at a stop sign, drunk driver behind them didn't stop, killed them both instantly. Just crazy shit like that.
Jesus.
That girl didn't even make it out of middle school,
Yeah.
It's like, wow, she didn't even get to start life. The other one was, 30, 40 years old. Like, she hadn't barely got to start life, and then they weren't planning for that. They had plans for Christmas, and they had plans for, for her getting married later on in life.
It's like with the, local news in Branson.
Yeah.
With all the people
exactly.
that died from the duck boats. No one was expecting that.
No. I guarantee everyone on that duck boat was just kind of
plans for the next day.
Of course.
And the rest of their lives figured out what they were going to do.
Right. But then all of a sudden it's like the water gets choppy.
I'm going to sink.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's like one of those where life is too short. live it to the fullest each day. Don't bullshit around.
That's absolutely
true. And that's
true.
kind of what kind of opened my eyes. Like, hey, I want to be healthy. Gotta get fit. Like, I can't keep being stagnant.
Right.
Because this isn't how I want to live my life.
Right.
In front of a TV or computer just playing video games all day.
Right.
No, I want to go out, want to explore.
Right.
I'm tired of this. I'm bored. I hate it.
See, and that's what my dad was talking about with young people and how a lot of people our age
just get comfortable.
They get comfortable, but they also do a lot of abuse to their bodies. It's like, oh, I can drink every night. I can drink heavy, and I can wake up and I don't get a hangover. It's like,
and then you're gonna hit 60 and you're gonna realize,
if you're lucky,
I screwed up. Yeah.
If you're lucky, 60, that's a really good number. But you wake up when you're 40,
71.
You wake up when you're 71. It's like shit. But what my point was is that I was telling them about, like, a lot of my friends, they smoke and they drink every single day.
Yeah.
They seem fine. They seem totally fine, right?
Right now.
Right now.
But later down the line.
He's like, you will have to pay the piper at some point, you know?
Yeah.
So that's your thought process is that I have to do this now. So many people will do that. They'll do.
And then they won't go through with it.
Well, they abuse their bodies when they're young. They're like, well, I'll stop smoking when I'm 40 or whatever, or just drinking tons of alcohol. Well, then all of a sudden
You're going to die by 40.
Well, they go to the hospital and the doctor's like, well, you have liver disease and your liver is eating itself or it's dying. Or you go, oh, your lungs are so fucked up. Like, you got to stop smoking. They're like, well, everyone, I stopped smoking and I'm going to turn my life around. It's like, too late.
Yeah.
Too late. My dad's line was, why don't you take care of your heart when your heart is healthy?
Yeah.
Start when it's healthy. Don't start when you've wrecked it into the ground. Like, that to me is the metaphor. Is like,
don't stop too late in life. Like, start to realize, oh, hey, my body has a timer.
Yeah, it does.
I need to take care of my body to keep that timer long, rather than cutting it short.
Right. I agree.
And no one thinks that.
Not many people.
Yeah.
You are now. I feel like I think that way. Alakine is very health-oriented.
I feel like Alakine's thought that way since he was like 18 and getting bored.
Maybe because remember when he's kind of the same position that you were. He was just kind of this little nerdy, chubby kid that played a ton of Diablo, and he was kind of isolated. He wasn't.
Yeah.
Not that he wasn't popular or whatever, but
he
calls
them like Korean MMOs or whatever.
Yeah, he was playing a ton of video games. You know, he was just like we were. Or you are. You know, I played Ark for a long time, but anyway,
you get bored.
Well, you just kind of get to a point where you're just tired of being gross and fat and lazy and lethargic and energyless and everything. It's like, okay, well, what am I going to do? And then his thing was CrossFit. He tried some things out. He said he did some sort of different martial arts.
He did. He said he got his start with what's that called? P90X.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
P90X. He's like, I'm going to change my life. But look how he did it. He did it by himself.
Yeah. And
then he kind of gradually got out. He said he did some sort of like, it wasn't jiu-jitsu, but it was like a grappling type of thing. And then he found CrossFit.
Muay Thai, maybe?
No, that's not. No.
Sorry.
It's got a weird name, but anyway, he did that for a little bit, and then he finally got into CrossFit, and that's kind of where he found his stride as far as, okay, here we go. And then he found out that he was really good at biohacking. You know, he has the supplements and the knowledge of what to and not to eat, like super knowledgeable on that. Yeah. Tim Ferriss, like, if you want to ask him, like, what should I eat for this? Like, dude, the guy knows his nutrition. I think he does.
And he will charge you for that information, I promise.
Yeah, he's very business oriented. But yeah, that's how it happens.
Yeah.
To go back to my initial thought of Faces of Death. Anyway,
point is, we kind of got off track.
Is that it happens every day. That you've seen the death clock, the birth clock.
Yes.
Okay, the birth, there's a clock, and it's measuring how many people are born that day on the entire globe.
And then it's also measuring how many people die that day.
Okay, it's ticking every second, right? Yeah. So someone in this world is going dead. You know, they're leaving. They're dying. And someday you will be on that clock, and someday I will be on that clock.
I will never be on that clock.
But not today.
Right. I hope not.
But so here's my thing. If 3 billion people have cameras and someone is dying every second, someone's
going to get caught on that camera.
Bingo.
Dying.
So why doesn't it show up in the compilations?
Because it makes people uncomfortable.
Absolutely. It's way too crazy.
There was one video I saw.
That's where Faces of Death come in. They compile all the death videos.
There was this one video I saw.
Scary.
This dude was high off his mind.
Oh, God.
I think it was like in Asia or somewhere, and he gets on top of this rail cart, and he reaches up and he grabs the wire.
Oh.
I think he slipped or something, like tried to catch himself, because I think his plan was to commit suicide, but not by electrocution.
Okay.
And he reached up, and all of a sudden you just see, boom, and you hear a loud crack, and it's just like. And
well, he's dead, dude.
And he's not letting go.
He can't.
Because your muscles are. He's taking like
Contracted.
100,000 volts of electricity through his body.
Right.
And it has nowhere to go.
Right.
Like he's barefoot on top of a metal oh my God, just that right there is just enough to be like, whoa.
I don't know what that is. Anyway, keep talking.
It's probably like a video game. I hope it's a video game because that's really fucked up. But anyway, so he's just sitting there, just and everyone's freaking out. And you hear a guy, don't touch him.
Oh, no.
Don't touch him, because someone was like trying to climb up there and grab him.
Right.
It's like, if it's going to start a chain.
Yeah.
You're going to grab that dude, and then you're the outlet, and you're dead.
Right.
Because your heart cannot handle that much voltage.
No.
And if you survive, you better get superpowers, or you better thank your lucky stars, because you should be dead.
Right.
It's like people getting struck by lightning.
Yeah. Happens.
Lightning is raw energy.
It happens.
And the fact that people survive getting hit by lightning is crazy to me, because it's just pure. Like it's just straight from the sky, like boom. You don't even hear. You go deaf for like maybe half the day. You don't get your hearing back for a while.
Right.
Because it's just boom, and then
they usually leave
ground.
some like gnarly scars too.
It's like webbing scars almost.
Yeah, they look almost superhero-like or something. They're really
and
strange.
from where they get hit too.
Right.
Like I saw this picture of this dude who got struck by lightning on his back.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Like right
too.
on his, I think it was his right shoulder, and it looked like as soon as it hit, it had webbed through his body. Yeah, that's crazy.
That doesn't make sense.
She got hit in the neck. Oh my God.
Well, who knows? But there's probably the one you're talking about.
That is the one. Yeah.
They're like, it's like electrical burns, but the way that
they
kind of look like badass tattoos. Not that I want. Oh, this buffalo gun.
That is that downstream?
Jeez. Yeah, you don't want to get hit by.
Yeah,
lightning.
that's crazy, because it's just a force of nature hitting you with everything it's got, and you survive. Like that would be mind blowing to me if that happened to me,
dude.
Like I was driving through an electrical storm one time, and I was freaking out. Like anytime I would see lightning hit, I'd be like this, crap, shit, shit. I gotta go. I gotta keep driving, because if I stop, I'm in a metal box.
Right.
The only thing that's going to save me is my tires on the ground.
Right.
Because it's rubber.
Right.
But as soon as I get hit by lightning, that rubber is gone. It's melted.
Yeah, right. You're going to be
like,
stuck to the road.
Stuck to the ground. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to step out of my car and be like, I need to go. I need to leave.
Oof. Yeah, it's interesting because of the statistics of everything, too. You know, you hear like, you are this likely to get hit by lightning. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like you have a better chance of winning the lottery.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Same with shark attack. Same with cancer. Like most of the big deaths
like disasters and stuff
are so unlikely for humans. Like for an individual, it's like. But what happens is that shark attack, cancer, lightning strike, all those things make great headlines, because you know what we do? We go, oh shit. Who got attacked by a shark?
Holy crap. What happened? I need to know. I need to tell my friends and everyone in town.
Well, you're like, well, I don't want that to happen to me. That's what happens. When I hear something like that story, I go, how do I make sure that doesn't happen to me? Every time. Every fucking time.
Which is why I will not go into the ocean, because
I'll go into the ocean.
It's fucking crazy.
It's perfect analogy. So you get to that point of risk, reward, and then you find out where you fall in the middle.
Right.
Like you say, the risk is there's sharks in the ocean. The reward is it's fun to swim in the ocean. It's super fun. There's bikinis and titties everywhere, but there's sharks. So then it's like, what is the risk reward to that thing? Is it worth you maybe getting bit by a giant fish to swim in the ocean? You would say, no, I'm not going to do that.
That depends if boobs are present.
Exactly. But you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's
it's
how.
It's like a fence. Like reward on this side, risk on this side.
Where you at?
Flip a coin.
Think about this though.
Okay.
It happens every decision you make.
Yeah.
The decision to come to my house today to do a podcast, you didn't think about it. You probably, algorithmically just went over it because car to you is fine. And you probably texted while you drove over here.
No, I didn't actually.
Just kidding. But people
What's that
do.
stop sign?
People do.
Yeah.
But there is a risk and a reward just to do that.
Yeah.
The risk is you could die in a car wreck from
The
your house
reward
to my
is
house.
I'm on the podcast right
The
now.
reward
alive.
is you get to be on the podcast. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Everything is broken down to that.
Right.
It's like, okay, I'm going to have one smoke. Okay, reward, you're going to have a little nicotine buzz, going to feel good. Risk,
lightheaded as
cancer.
hell.
Cancer. Terrible fucking cancer.
Yeah. Like, whenever I was vaping, my mom had posted this little article that if you vape, you get metal, like micro metal, in your lungs.
Oh, that's not good.
I commented a joke, and I immediately felt bad. And I was like, oh, cool. I'm totally heavy metal now. As a joke. And I realized, wait, my mom is seriously worried about my lungs turning in and crystallizing and becoming solid mass in my body, and I can't breathe anymore, so I just die and suffocate.
Right.
And
that or just mutations in your DNA because
too.
there's heavy metals in there, you know.
That's cool. That'd be cool. Like my arm turns to metal. I was like, I am powerful. Downside is you can't move your hands because it's metal. Upside is you get dope-ass clubs, and you can just beat the shit out of people.
If you're strong enough to lift up your own arms.
Always.
I see what you're saying.
But, like, you start to realize, like you were saying, risk and reward. Like,
Yeah.
okay, this could have real-world effects to my body in long term.
And
like
what's
we were
it doing
talking
for
earlier.
me?
And in short term, you think it's worth it, but in long term, you're not thinking.
But even with vape in particular, because that's what we're talking about, like the reward is minuscule.
Yeah.
Like
it's the same as smoking a cigarette.
it doesn't even. Okay, I feel.
Like, oh,
I feel a little.
nicotine high. Blah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not psyched about it.
Right.
I would much rather just drink a cup of coffee. I enjoy the taste of the coffee.
But
I enjoy what it makes me feel like.
I totally understand why people want to do it, because I did it, because you do get like the high off it, like we were talking about.
Right.
And you can get different nicotine levels.
Yeah.
Which affect you highly.
The nicotine
like
is carcinogenic.
Tucker's brother smokes like
Tucker smokes
over 40 Nick.
Yeah, Tucker has a 50 Nick.
I took a hit when Tucker was cutting my hair, and after we were done, I took a hit off of his, not thinking it was going to be that strong.
Mm-hmm.
It rocked my world. It felt like I got punched right in the chest. Like,
yeah.
Whoa. My eyes turned red. My face turned red. I was lightheaded, and they were just like, you okay? I was like, I think I just died.
Overdosed on
shit.
nicotine.
Like, I shocked the shit out of my body.
Yeah.
And it was not worth it.
No, it's not. But you have to find things because it is worth it to somebody.
Yeah.
They go, it's
like
worth
it's an outlet for some people.
Right. So you personally have to comb through your life and ask yourself the things that you're doing or
Is
that
it
you're
worth
not
it?
doing, is it worth it?
Right.
Or should
Nah.
it be worth it?
Right.
Because there are things like, okay,
And
if you don't work out, that's a choice to where your risk and reward, you don't have to do shit. You get to sit on your ass.
risk, you could succumb to some sort of illness because your body's not strong enough to fight it because you
Exactly.
sat there.
Exactly.
And you just got stagnant.
So there's both things. You have to look at your life, like I said, comb through your life and go, things I'm doing, things I'm not doing. Am I cool with the outcomes?
And
because
since I've
we're
started
all
doing
going to
that,
have to pay the price,
Yeah.
good or bad.
Yeah.
You eat a bunch of healthy food, you work out. 6 months from now, guess what? You're fucking ripped, and you look great, and you feel great.
And like you can run a mile and not kill over because you had been smoking instead of actually working out.
Well, I mean, pushing through a workout trains your mind to push through things. So this is kind of a stupid little metaphor, but this is what happened to me, is that when I would go to jiu-jitsu and have to roll, like I'd have to keep rolling, it was terrible because I'm just getting my ass whipped, and I'm not strong enough, and I'm not in shape enough to keep going.
But you start to adapt.
You start to adapt, but it starts to spread to other parts of your life. And the place that it spread was books. I used to read a lot as a kid, and it was easier. But then as I got older, the hormones kicked in, and pussy started showing up, stuff like that, to where I kind of got like sidetracked. And reading a book, even that thick, was tough. It's tough just to keep reading and reading and reading. Well, once you do one thing in one area of your life, it spreads to every area.
Right.
So if something gets corrupt, it spreads to every area. If something gets enhanced, it gets spread to every area.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And that's what I've been kind of thinking about is like I want to start doing things that proactively influence my life, not negatively.
That
Which is
enhance
why,
your life.
Like, in a sense, that's where I kind of think of CrossFit and maybe going back to jiu-jitsu. I don't know yet. I'm still kind of like on that.
You only have so much
ledge.
time.
Right.
You know?
And like I need to focus on one thing, work on that, and then once I get good enough and back in shape and not dying every time I work out
Right.
and stuff like that, then I might delve into jiu-jitsu and CrossFit, like not on the same day,
Right.
but within the same week.
Well, here's the thing.
You know?
And Tucker and I talked about this too, is that you only have X amount of time per day, X amount of time per week, X amount of time per month.
Usually like 18 hours of your day is spent awake, right?
Well, that seems like a little bit more. What is it, 24 hours? So
24 hours in a day.
that's a 6 hour, I was going to say 6 hour nap. So about 18 to 16 hours you're awake, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then you got to think about, of that time, how much of it is productive time? How much? Because if you are not in shape, well, you're not going to be working out for 18 hours.
No.
You could work out for 1 maybe. You know, that's a lot.
Maybe 30 minutes.
You got to think about time to get to places. You got to drive and go places. You got to think about time for responsibility. You don't live at home right now, or you live at home, so that's a little bit different. But you still have chores and things that you have to do. You got to keep your car clean. You got to keep it oil changed. There's just
Did that
maintenance on my life, right? Maintenance on your life. You just there's these things that you have to do to make sure your life keeps going good.
Yeah.
You know,
the way it's supposed to.
Exactly.
At least to you, supposed to.
You just don't want that chaos to come back on you and fuck you up when chaos really shows up. It's like, hey, I'm sick and my car engine blew up because I didn't change the oil. That's not what you want.
No.
Change your oil in your car so that when you're sick, you can go to the hospital and get better and then come back. And it's not like a bunch of stuff piling up on you.
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson would call that chaos, you know. Make sure that you take care of the small chaos, the little dragon in the corner, because it turns into a giant fucking huge dragon.
It will eventually turn into smog.
It will.
And destroy your shit.
It will. You see this? That's chaos. And right now it's just it's a little baby dragon.
What?
It's a little baby dragon. And if I don't
What's
take
that
care of that, after a while it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Anyway.
You're right.
Where was I going with that? Oh, okay. You only have so much time in a day.
Right.
That's okay. Because if you do a whole bunch of stuff, say you do 5 or 6 things, you're not going to be very good at those 5 or 6 things.
Right.
You'll be okay.
Like focus on like 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah.
And then branch off into the other things you want to do.
Exactly.
And then no chaos, pure reward. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, so let's say you got 3 things you want to do. I think that's kind of the magic number. You have CrossFit, that's your physical thing.
Yeah.
You have a mental thing. What would be, you know, it could be video game. It could be reading a book. It could be taking a class online.
Yeah.
And then you have a spiritual thing, whatever that could be. It could be painting. It could be hiking. It could be all sorts of things. But you see how they kind of overlap with each other? Yeah. They should all kind of formulate this thing. And so say you do that for a year. You're gonna be fucking amazing at CrossFit after a year. And you go, you know what? Well, I think I'm going to add in jiu-jitsu. So then you're like tampering with jiu-jitsu a little bit. You do CrossFit, but you just tamper with jiu-jitsu. You do that for 5 years. Well, you're purple belt by that time. If you go, and then you add in something else, you go, well, you know what? I've really been wanting to learn how to smoke meat, smoke pork, and
it's super easy.
Well, but you want to take it to the level of art. You're gonna use different wood. You're gonna use different casings. You're going to use different compositions.
From cedar to oak. Yeah.
Well, you're going to put different sorts of peppers. You're going to grow exotic peppers to put in your sausage. That kind of thing. Maybe you grow ghost peppers. But you're going to take it to an art. Right. That's kind of where, and that's
you're going to make it your own and mold it.
Yes.
Essentially.
Anyone can learn how to smoke meat. Yeah. I get it. Like you said, it's easy. I get it.
Yeah.
But the point that I'm making is that you want to take it
your own.
Dude, you want to take it to a level of art. Mm-hmm. You don't just want to dabble in it. Yeah. That's what Tucker does. Tucker dabbles in a lot of things. Some things he takes to a level of art. Some things he doesn't. He kind of gets bored with them. That's pretty normal. You got to find those things that you can be like, no, dude, you're doing it wrong. Turn it this way. Yeah. Holy shit, it's so much better.
I feel like his main art is hairstyling and stuff. And then he dabbles with like falconry a little bit, and then like I don't know what else he does.
Well, he's got the whips. He does whip things, and he's a peculiar guy because a lot of his interests don't really connect. Yeah, they're not like a haircut, and I don't know. They're just kind of sporadic. Like, they do connect, but they don't. I guess so. I don't know. But a lot of times you'll see people's interests and they're very closely aligned.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's all they do. So for instance, like, oh, I want to brew my own beer. Dude, there is a Facebook page called Home Brewing Network or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There are people on there that's all they do.
Yeah.
That's all they do.
We need to tell Patrick about it.
That's all. But so Pat is an interesting character because he wants to do all these things. He's in our boat, in my boat at least. He wants to do all these things, doesn't have enough time to do them, so he doesn't do any of them.
That's pretty accurate.
That's what sucks.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to notice about yourself and go, okay, I can't do that, or that because I want to do this and this.
So like you get like a special folder where this will be later. I'll come back to it.
Yeah.
And then boom.
You
focus on the main.
What is the priority?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you were saying, 3 is the magic number.
I think it is.
Focus on 3 things.
I think it is.
That go well together, so you can.
That helps.
Not be conflicted.
Yeah.
And then focus on the rest later when you've mastered those.
And 3 might be too much. You might do 1.
Yeah.
You might do 1. And a lot of the, to use Patrick as an example, a lot of that I think comes from not doing those things.
Mm-hmm.
So if Patrick were to do all the things that he wants to do, I guarantee 80% of them will be like, that was fun, but not for me.
Yeah. It would be like an experience kind of thing.
Exactly.
Like, okay, I experienced this, wasn't really my cup of tea.
Right.
Throw it away,
right.
Starting something different to take its place.
Right. That's what I'm talking about with that homebrew thing on Facebook. Those guys probably dabbled, they experimented with different things. They probably did gymnastics and they fucking rode horses and I don't know.
How can this affect the taste of my beer?
No. Before they found beer brewing.
Right.
And then like their uncle was like, hey, I bought this brew package. You want to brew it with me? And they're just like, this is what I'm meant for. Exactly.
This was my calling.
Exactly.
Holy shit.
That's kind of what Casey's going through right now. He's just the other day, he's like, I got to find my calling. Like I have so much energy. I have so much passion, but I don't know where to aim it. I want to aim it somewhere, but I don't know where to aim it. I feel like if I get another job, it's just a job. I need a thing to just invest myself in.
That when people look at it, they immediately think of you.
They immediately think of you, or the old saying about, do you wake up every morning and you're excited to go to whatever you're about to do, right? And he was like, yeah, the building, 1020 is definitely helpful. It's a place to go. It's ours, we can build in it and do all these things to it. But at the same time, it's interesting that he was talking about that. And it's like, that was the biggest thing that I learned in college.
Yeah.
I was studying biology and it's like, okay, here is the lesson of college. Whatever you choose to do with your life, make sure that you are willing to suffer for it greatly and pick something worth suffering for. Because whatever you pick, you're going to suffer.
Yeah.
Because I picked biology to study in college, and I suffered greatly for it, but I didn't want to. It wasn't what I was looking to suffer for.
Yeah.
When I got out and I started Infinite, I built up Infinite.
Right.
And I had to wake up early, and I had all this crap. Camera was fucking up on me or whatever. Someone didn't show up for the interview. Like, that sort of suffering was worth it.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was like, yep, I choose.
This is what
I choose
I want
this.
to do.
I choose this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever you choose, Aubrey Edwards, you're going to suffer for it.
Oh.
So make sure.
I suffer every day.
You do. So make sure it's something worth suffering for.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Whatever it is.
Like, this pain I feel right now from CrossFit, I feel like is progress, like, in a good way.
Right.
Like, I realize, I can work through this.
Right.
Like, Wednesday, the morning workout for me, I was in so much pain from Tuesday.
Right.
But I was just working through, and I was like, okay, cool, I can do this. I can keep going.
That's a good mindset.
And I was just like I could feel, it felt like I was getting stronger.
Of course, yeah.
And my body was working with me rather than just sitting there fighting me, trying to like be active and all this stuff. Like, I was actually working with my body, trying to get better and feel better. And I'm driven to do this. Like, I feel great. Like, even though I'm in pain and my muscles hurt, I feel awesome, better than I've ever felt.
Great.
And that's something that I'm just like, oh, this is a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
People don't just talk out their ass about how good they feel after they do like certain things.
Right.
And I feel awesome. Like, I'm super excited for tomorrow to go to the gym with Alex
What
and
about
Jose.
tonight?
You want to go to BJJ? You wanna
Yeah.
go to jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
You feeling good?
I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, well, if,
No,
you know what?
we'll go. We'll go.
I brought the gi. We're going. All right. But yeah, like I just feel awesome. I really, honestly, I wish I would have took Alex's advice 6 months ago when he was trying to convince me the very first time. I wish I would have taken him up on that offer.
That's okay though, because in 6 months you'll be where you were now. You know.
Yeah, and
you'll be there. Stay with it.
I'll be like, hell yeah, this is it. This
Yeah.
is what it. Yeah, I feel awesome. I want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really want to do like the competitions like Alex
That's
does,
okay.
but I just want. This is something I want to do to better my health.
Right.
Like I just want to get healthy. I'm tired of eating junk food. Like I looked at ice cream the other day and I almost puked because I was just like, oh,
There's a time and place for ice cream. You know.
I know,
At some point.
But
you're
at
gonna be
that moment, I was just like,
like, no.
I feel good.
Right.
I can't do this. I
Yeah.
can't eat ice cream.
Yeah.
Like
And that's good.
like we had a whole cake, like the red velvet cake.
Oh, from Red Oak.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
In the kitchen, and there's it's right there. I'm just like, nah,
Yeah.
I'm good. I
Right.
don't want to. I don't.
Right.
No, I'm
So-
not feeling.
Because you know the outcome of that.
Right.
You're gonna. It's the risk reward thing. You're gonna
It's-
put it in your mouth and you're gonna go, oh
it's a-
my god, it tastes so.
It's a
fucking
gateway
good.
drug.
It is.
Yeah, the sugar.
It's
and
short-term
everything.
pleasure
Yeah.
and then long-term pain.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I feel lethargic.
Like how I'm feeling now.
yeah,
This is short-term pain, but progress.
exactly. You'll be
Like-
better for it. You'll be
Yeah.
stronger. And that's
And
the whole
I'm-
thing.
I'm just tired of being weak and just sitting
Right.
and just moving my fingers.
Right.
I can't do it.
And one thing I've found as I get older or as I mature, whatever you want to call it, is that the harder I work, the better I feel when I relax.
Yeah.
If I don't do work, like if I don't work out and I don't work on Infinite or I don't write that day, and then Kelsey comes home and she's like, let's go to the pool. Let's go to my mom and dad's pool and let's like hang out. It's like, fuck, I haven't done anything today. Like I don't feel worthy to relax. Like
yeah.
for the month of June, I was shooting that documentary 12,
Almost every
14-hour
day.
days. Yeah,
Yeah.
every day. We were shooting all day, every day.
I remember seeing you all the time.
Dude, the weekends were great.
Yeah.
Because I just went, ding, I unplugged. I had a great time. I drank beer. I had fires with my wife. We went to the
pool.
pool.
Yeah.
Like I was unplugged. I
Yeah.
relaxed. I felt so good. And then come Monday, I was refreshed and ready to go.
Yep.
I hadn't felt like that in a long time because I'd never felt like I was worthy to take off time.
Yeah.
So that's
And
one thing. I
another
find.
good thing since I started working out is I noticed I wake up earlier.
Yeah, I bet.
Like I went to bed at 12 last night, tired, just
Yeah.
exhausted from the morning's workout. And then I wake up at 7 o'clock. I'm just like, oh, wow, I feel great. What the hell is this?
Isn't it awesome?
Oh, my God. It's so weird.
That's
It's
one
like,
thing I do like.
it's like I don't wake up and I don't want to go back to bed. I wake up and I want to get up.
Right. You got things to do.
Like I laid there and I was like, I got to get up and walk around.
yeah.
I can't lay here.
Right.
I just it feels like my body's in overdrive constantly, and it's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So now you got to take that energy and you have to find other things to put it into.
Yeah.
You got your physical thing, your CrossFit. That'll.
Mhm.
You should promise
And-
yourself like 6 months. You should put up something on Facebook or make a deal with Alex. Make a
Well-
deal with Alex and say, Alex, if I don't go to CrossFit for the next 6 months, I will give you $1,000 check. Write him a check for $1,000.
Well, actually, I took a picture. No, I'm not
no,
doing
no, I'm
that.
not. I'm serious.
I'm not-
Write a check for $1,000 and say, if I don't come to CrossFit for 6 months, you can cash that thing.
Did you and Alex plan this? Like what?
No, but
'Cause
I
I'm not
remember.
doing it.
I remember one time. I don't remember what it was. I think it was for writing. He's like, if you don't write every day, I'm gonna cash that check. And I was like, damn, I didn't do it, but I could feel in my heart like I would write every fucking day, you know?
Yeah.
And it's a little different because I could lie, and be like, yeah, I wrote
Mhm.
today. But maybe if I had to send him my paper every
Yeah.
day, dude, you should do that. Just be like, if I don't go 4 days a week, you cash that check.
I'm not doing that.
Dude, I'm gonna tell him.
No, I'm not writing.
Write
I'll do
500.
like 50.
Do enough.
Because like $50 to me is like
Listen,
I don't want to spend that.
You gotta do enough that.
It's panic mode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where if you wake up in the morning, you're like, I don't want to go. $50, fuck it. You know, I'll make $50 at work. $1,000, you're like, I have to go.
I mean, I wake up like that already. I don't want to write.
but okay, so it doesn't have to be 1,000.
I get what you mean.
It doesn't have to be
Like,
1,000.
It's like something to drive you.
Yes.
You know what I did, Colton? I took a picture of myself.
Naked.
I had boxers on. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to look at this every day. And this is going to be my drive. I'm tired of looking like this.
Give me that picture. And if you don't go to CrossFit for 6 months, I get to post it.
But how do you know
What do you mean?
if I go to CrossFit or not?
You have to be honest with me. No, don't give it
I mean,
to me.
that's
Give
obvious,
it to
but, like,
Alex.
I'll give it to Alex.
Give it
'cause
to
I feel
Alex and be like,
yeah.
"Look, here's this picture, if I don't go 4 times a week for 6 months, which was probably December, you post that. You post it on Facebook and you make fun of me.
Yeah.
That would make me fucking go. I would go to CrossFit. Anyway, I gotta take a piss real quick.
Yeah.
The floor is yours. Do you gotta go too?
No.
Oh, okay, well then.
I'm just gonna sit here awkwardly and wait.
Oh, talk to the people. They want to hear from you.
Nah, I'm okay. I'll just wait. I'm not good on spur of the moment, you know.
Just talk about whatever you talk about.
I don't know what to talk about.
I think it's those pickled eggs. So I made these pickled eggs last night because we have so many. Oh shit, we have so many eggs, and I made these pickled eggs. They taste so good. And I put You all right?
Yeah. Sorry, I shouldn't have looked at that. I've just got bummed out. I'll show you later when we're out in the podcast.
It's all good.
China's fucked up.
China?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Does they eat dogs?
It was a video my friend Molly shared on Facebook, and I am immediately heartbroken because it's always heartbreaking to see people abuse dogs. So
yeah,
yeah.
They eat them.
I know
They eat them,
Not
but
my
that's just
first choice,
because
but
our
cultures
to
are
dog-
different.
Our cultures are way different.
Yeah, like I feel like the only thing we
Think
would
about
eat in a
what-
dire situation is like a horse. I almost said a wolf for some reason. That's weird.
I'd eat a wolf. Dire situation? I eat a fucking dog. I don't give a fuck. Dire situation?
But say okay, work with me here. Say you had this dog your entire life.
All right,
You go on a hiking trip.
that's
No,
different.
let's see, right.
That's fucking different.
It's not though.
But go ahead, because
Like-
there are times where I would eat my own dog. Yeah. Is she over there?
No, I don't think so.
Oh. There are times.
She's gone. But like, you have this dog. You raised it its whole life.
Yep.
You go on a trip.
Yeah.
Something bad happens.
Yeah.
You can't get back to society for like a week. Just work with me.
I
here.
gotta eat.
I gotta eat in a week.
Let's say like 2 months.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm not eating my dog in a
just
week.
giving you a number, Colton. All right, Jesus. I don't know how long can the body last without food.
A month, like 30
Seriously?
days. It's called the rule of thirds. Your body can go without air for 3 minutes, right? That's a long time, but
Yeah.
rough average about 3 minutes,
Right.
you're fucking dead, brain dead, something. If you're
Yeah.
no air, it can go without water for about 3 days, right?
That's where. I
And
got
then
confused.
food is 30 days. You can go without.
That's
You probably go without food actually longer than that,
Yeah.
depending on how much you have packed on, muscle and
Right,
fat
like
wise.
in if any of you guys have seen South Park, when they leave Cartman chained up on the cross for like all winter, and he survives just off of his fat. Oh my God, you're alive? Yeah.
Yeah, guys.
You're skinny now, but like all that skin thing is disgusting. Anyway, that's besides the point. Back on track.
All right.
2 months.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
You have to make a decision.
Okay. What's the decision?
You either kill your best friend to
Okay.
survive.
You're such a politician with this. Be unbiased. You either kill your dog.
Okay. You either kill your dog and survive,
Okay.
or you don't and you die.
I'm
with your
killing
dog.
my dog.
Okay.
I'm killing the dog. I'm surviving.
I mean, I probably would too, but like, I was just trying
It
to like.
sucks. It's
Yeah.
not gonna be. I'm not be like. It's gonna be easy.
You look like a burrito, right?
No. It's gonna be fucking hard. But it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll give you another scenario. It's like you and your son are in the woods,
Oh,
and
shit.
something bad happens, and you have the dog, and it gets really fucking cold, and no one's found you for several weeks or whatever, or days, or however long it takes for you to kind of get to that point of fuck. You gonna kill the dog to feed your son? Probably.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah. More than like,
there's.
your heart would break and you'd be fucking crying like.
It'd be terrible.
God.
It would be.
Yeah.
It would be like what we talked about earlier. 99.99999% of people
That's a lot of nines.
never have to kill their dog to survive.
Right.
But
Only
someone-
the people that go outside.
Right. My dad used to read these old Western books. And
Like Lemoore and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, exactly.
My dad does the same thing.
Okay, so he might have read something like this, but a lot of those, like going out west, was fucking insane. Is there something on my face?
There was. It was
Okay.
like in that. You got it though, so it's
Okay.
fine.
But going out west like was treacherous. Like that's what I'm saying. Today's age is so nice
And laid back.
Oh my God, air conditioning,
Like
food.
the most stretch of land you have to cross to get to civilization is pretty much Wyoming.
Dude,
That's it.
okay, so that's
offense
a
to
pretty
Wyoming,
remote
but
place, but
yeah.
Wyoming's settled. Yeah, there's a lot of mountains and shit there, but there's towns.
There's
There's
also like
Walmarts.
long ass deserts that go for miles.
But
and miles and
a
miles.
lot of it is livable. And I'm talking like where we live.
Yeah.
I work on a computer. Like my labor is clicking around and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not laying fucking railroad ties.
Yeah.
I'm not
And like
herding cattle across thousands of acres.
Yeah.
I live a great life. So do you.
Yeah.
Almost everyone I know lives a fucking stellar life. Anyway, where's my point with that? What are we talking about?
dangers of everyday life. 99.999999999%. Yeah, not having to kill your
Oh,
dog to
the
survive.
old Western books.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of times when those covered wagons or whatever, those trail people would come up to the
Oregon
mountains
Trail.
and they would cross the mountains at the wrong time and they would have to eat each other to stay alive. Like the dad was telling me about like parts where, not okay. So eating your dog is one thing, but like think about eating your dad. What if your dad's is like, he's kind of gives you like, you're the man of the house now.
And he gives you the look like, hey.
Maybe you have a son and daughter. He's kind of like this older guy. And he's like, I'm just going to walk off in the woods and you're going to come find me and then chop me up. Tell him that you shot a rabbit and then come back and feed your kids. You know, like, what the fuck? But that's what those stories were talking about.
Right.
Like, sometimes that's how bad it was.
There was a movie of this group, their plane crashed in the mountains, and they all made a pact where if I die, you can eat me. Have you seen that movie?
No,
It's
but
a real movie.
But think about having that conversation.
Like
That's fucking nuts.
I would be like, holy shit, okay, hold on, wait, I need to backtrack and come back to this conversation in a clear state of mind, because you rocked my world saying that.
It
like,
would be.
holy shit.
Okay, just imagine the
'Cause
Red
then
Oak
you would
crew.
think,
Imagine the Red Oak crew. So you have a group of people that you're decently intimate with, and then that's the conversation that you have to have with them. And you look at everyone in the group, and you're like, is everyone in agreement that if someone dies, we can eat them? It's like you look at Courtney, you look at Joe, you look at Jose, and they're all like, okay. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in that situation.
I don't either.
I
I would just be like,
I'd rather buy everyone a buffet. You know, I don't want to fucking eat anybody.
can we like figure out a way to kill an animal?
I mean,
Like,
there are people I would not eat. I'm not eating Casey, and I'm not eating Kelsey. I will fucking die long before. I wouldn't eat you.
We're avoiding this conversation because there's a joke there, but I'm not going to say.
Oh, eating my wife out? Is that where you're going?
Yes, Colton.
No,
I was
but
avoiding that joke.
There are just certain things in life that I will not do. I would rather die. Right? Of course, you too. It's like, oh god.
Honestly, I'd probably rather die than eat anyone from Red Oak or you or Kelsey.
It's just too traumatic.
couldn't-
It's like
I don't think I could cope as a human being
exactly
knowing I ate the people closest to me
Exactly.
to survive.
Exactly.
Like I'd just be like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll bury you. If you die before me, I'll bury you.
I'm not eating.
But
you.
I'm not eating you.
Exactly. Yep, exactly.
I can't do
There
it.
are just things on a list. I have a short list, but there's things on that list that go, would rather die.
Yeah.
Would rather
Hands down.
fucking die
Yeah.
than do that.
Like survival of the fittest, I would be the person not fittest to survive.
Well, in that
'Cause I'd rather
situation,
die.
in that
Yeah,
situation,
in that situation.
you know, eat my dog. I would probably eat the dog.
Yeah.
I love Kimura.
You would feel bad.
But I
as
would
hell.
probably get over it. I
You
guess.
named your dog Kimura?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. Anyway, back on track. Sorry.
It's nothing compared to eating your brother or your mom or
People
your
you consider family and even family in general.
just I'd rather not do it.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing of like
I'd rather just starve to death.
well, it's like if
Then-
I used to think about this shit as a kid, so you can ask me how weird I am, but it's like
I
what if
already know how
what if I
weird you
had
are.
a gun and there was like an overlord thing and it was like you have to kill one of these people. It's like Casey and Kelsey. Like who do I kill? Like if I had to pick one.
Oh.
I can't. That's a part where I'm like, I love you both. Bam! Blow my brains
That's
out, right?
exactly what I was about to say.
But what if you
like-
couldn't? What if it was just like you had to hit
You
a
either
button?
kill one of them or we kill you and both of them.
Kill me and both of them. I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
that.
But like, that's where it kind of impacts your moral compass, where you're just like, okay, well, if I pick one, I can save the other, but if I pick that one,
Yeah, but
then I have to deal with the regret.
okay. So now let's flip you. I get it, and total logical.
Yeah.
With totally logic what you just did. But now let's flip you around. Now it's you, your wife, and you have a brother. Who's a person that's closest to you?
Person that's closest to me,
Yeah.
like I consider family on a daily
Sure.
basis.
Yeah.
Probably my buddy Devin.
Okay, so it's you, Devin, and your wife. And Devin has to choose which one to kill.
He would kill my wife.
Okay, that thought experiment didn't work like I wanted it to.
I know Devin. He
Point.
would rather kill the person I love than kill me.
Point is that no matter who lives and who dies,
You have to deal with that regret for the rest of your life.
well, okay, and
And-
what situation are we in where we have to choose someone to fucking die? Like, do you want to go living in that world? Like, how did I even get here?
No.
But
But see, that world can happen at any time. Like, you can be abducted for no goddamn reason, and then the next
Aliens?
thing you know, not aliens, I'm talking about people. Like, a group of people could abduct you
yeah,
as a, like, you
It's
could be
pretty
a test
easy,
subject
right?
for them.
it seems like
Like,
it'd be pretty easy.
They grab you.
Yeah.
They put you in a room with 2 other people. They put us in the exact same scenario, but those 2 people know each other, and they give you the gun to pick because they already know what they pick.
Right.
So you're just sitting here like 2 people you've never met, and that they're both telling you to like shoot me, and you're just like, what do I do? Like,
Okay.
I don't know.
So this conversation goes back to what we were talking about earlier, like how much of this reality is false because of media consumption. Okay, how much of this reality is fucking scary and crazy, but we just don't acknowledge it? Like how much of it? Like for instance,
Dude,
let me give you
I'm
a scenario.
still pretty solid on like 25% of it is scary in reality, and the other 75% is just this fake life we live.
But just think, okay, just imagine scenarios that can happen, and I think they can happen, right?
right.
A truckload of dudes could pull up with machine guns and kick in that door and fucking shoot us through the head and then drive off and never be caught, right? That's possible.
Yeah.
And that could happen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guns in this area, right? Okay.
I have 2 in my car.
How much would it take before, like, your mind broke? So, for instance, I always thought about this thing of,
Oh, dude.
what if that door got knocked on and I was like, I'll be right back. And there were dudes in suits and they had FBI badges and everything. They came into the house and they sat down. They said, okay, you think you're Aubrey Edwards, right? Is that your name?
Yeah.
Okay. You think that these 2 are your parents, right?
Right.
It's all a lie. Your name is not Aubrey. Your name is Kyle. You were born in Russia, and you have a special genetic sequence within your body that is patented by Monsanto, and we need to bring you in for testing. Do you believe them?
At first, no.
Okay. Let me up the ante for you.
But
So then you go, fuck you, I'm Aubrey Edwards. I grew up with my mom and dad. I still live with them, it's
yeah,
fine.
like,
Your mom comes in, she got a British accent, and she's smoking cigarettes. She goes, Aubrey, please, dear. Or actually, Kyle, please, dear.
right.
Go get some testing done. This whole thing's been a fucking experiment. And you're like, okay. Then a helicopter lands, and Trump gets out. And he shakes your hand and goes, Kyle, it's been a real pleasure to watch you from afar and see how this experiment's played out.
Dude.
Do you break?
I would be like this. I don't have the name of a girl.
Okay. So that's the ultimate, right? Trump comes down in a helicopter. Like, to me, I'd be like, okay, some shit is going down.
I would probably shit my pants.
Okay, that's the spectrum.
I'm going to be honest.
That's the spectrum. Where on that spectrum do you break? Of course, you're going to break if Trump shows up and he lands in a helicopter and there's all the Secret Service and they're telling you, Kyle, and they show you all this documentation.
all the shit that's happened by them.
Exactly.
In your life.
They're
And you're
proving
just
it. They're proving it to you over and over.
that wasn't.
Exactly. 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 So
I feel like.
no, don't tell me this. On that spectrum, when do you break? Because like guys come up to the door in suits, knocking on it
Probably.
and saying, "I'm FBI." Like, I'm not gonna break. I'm not gonna be like, "I'm fucking
I'll be like,
Colton."
I know
Yeah.
who I am.
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
been me my whole life.
Exactly, right?
But then,
When does it
like, I
change?
feel like the breaking point would be my mom coming in and telling me in a British accent, which my mom's not British.
Okay,
she's Scottish, to my knowledge.
But American as far.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, so she's got a British accent and she makes out with a South African guy.
Well,
that's her husband.
wait,
that's her husband. That's her husband because she's just playing a character.
Where's my dad in this? My quote unquote dad
in
this scenario.
Dick is still there, and he's just like,
his name's Richard.
Or Richard. Richard is still there, and he's just, he's just a little humble beekeeper that just gets paid by the government to pretend to be your dad.
I feel like that would probably be my breaking point, is knowing that my parents aren't my parents.
If I saw my mom
like
make
Trump,
out,
I don't care if he comes out of a helicopter. I would be like this. What else could go wrong,
Right.
Like, my mom's British making out with this dude who I've never met in my life, and my dad is actually who he is, but he's not actually my dad, and I don't even know who my parents are. And why is she British? What happened?
like, okay,
she didn't even have an accent, like, my whole life.
How
can you hide that and then just it's back?
How long, and these are things I think about too, like how long would it take to convince you that dinosaurs are real and they're living?
I mean, dinosaurs were real cool.
That's why I said they're living. That they're living today. Like, how much would it take? Like,
actually seeing one.
A big one? A small one?
A big one. Where I'm just like, my life is in danger right now.
So let's pretend.
Like, if I was in my house, I heard, doo, doo,
right,
doo, and I open my window. I part the curtains, and I look out, and I see this big old Tyrannosaurus Rex just looking down at me through my window, and that motherfucker roars. I would be like, holy shit! Where's my guns? I need my guns to cope with this right now, because this is happening. Armageddon is happening on my property right fucking now.
I promise you, someday
I'd be like,
that's going to happen.
Oh
you.
yeah,
I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it happen.
You know what? I hope it happens in our lifetime.
No, not real dinosaurs. I'm gonna get an animatronic a T-Rex, full size T-Rex.
You better make that bitch believably real, all right? Because I ain't stupid. I'm moderately stupid. But I ain't that stupid to see.
Dude,
Colton, you just sitting down there with the projector.
Listen, this is my point. Okay, this is my point.
Okay.
Because you say, I need proof. I need to see a fucking T-Rex outside my door, right?
Right.
Well, what if it's animatronic? That's what I would think is like, man, that's a really good robot, right? So how do you find out?
Then that bitch eats you, and you're dead, and you're just like, well, shit, it was alive the whole damn time.
Imagine this thing is outside your door. Hang on, we'll find it. Whoa!
Was that?
What would you do if you saw that thing? You think it's a robot?
I would think I'd be asleep right now. I'd be like, okay, this is obviously a fucking dream.
You think it's a robot? Like you wouldn't really think of anything. But this, okay, here we go.
Okay, yeah. I'm liking where this is going.
Okay, you see that thing? You'd think it's a robot. You'd be like,
that's totally a robot. And then I see it eat the neighbor's dog, and I'd be like, okay, that's not a robot.
So it'd have to eat something?
Yeah, but not me, because no, thank you. God, that's pretty good.
I mean, it's awesome.
That's pretty fucking good.
It looks awesome. But I'm just saying, how much does it have to look? How much does it have to act like?
It has to eat something and it not be me. Now, if it smashes my car, I will believe it might be real.
Huh. That's pretty badass.
That's pretty good.
But you get my point of what point do you break and go, that's a fucking T-Rex.
Real.
I don't know how it's here. I don't know what's going on, but that thing is real.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't
like
see,
it's so much of
it's
our
like a skeptical thing because everyone has different breaking
points. I know.
Like I feel like if my mom saw that, she'd be like, okay,
exactly.
and just go the other direction and be like, I'm
true.
not. And my dad saw it, he'd be like, I need my gun.
That's true.
I need my magnums.
That's true.
And then he'd start shooting it.
Yeah,
my mom would just be like, nah, just walk away.
Right.
My dad, however, I feel like his breaking point is way more smaller than my mom's breaking point.
Yeah.
Because my dad is hyper religious and my mom is super analytical. Like she's kind of like you, runs constant scenarios through her head of how shit happens and why it happens. Right. My dad's just like, that was an act of God. Now I'm terrified. I'm gonna shoot it. and be
That's
like,
interesting.
don't do that.
Right.
Don't shoot at
So
it.
the differences are how they interpret reality.
Right.
They interpret different things, different events of reality. An eclipse happens, and your mom says, the moon went in front of the sun. And your dad goes, God is mad.
It's an Armageddon.
But here's my question.
What's up?
What if they're both true? What if God is
Well,
mad?
then I guess they're both true. Well, I mean, like, wait.
Isn't that weird?
Like, God is mad, but the
And
Earth
that-
is just going in front of the sun while the moon is, or
in,
like,
in that scenario, we can use that one. Okay, so yes, God is mad, and the sun or the moon goes in front of the sun
right.
because he's mad, and he's saying, like, he's trying to get our attention.
Yeah.
But really, what's happening is
He's mad.
the moon is going in front of the sun,
Oh, okay.
and what's really happening is that God's mad. See what I'm saying?
Kind of like,
You have to be able to hold multiple ideas and have them be true at the same time. It's like, let me try.
I feel like that's kind of where I was lacking like 5 minutes ago when you asked the question, but now I understand what you mean.
yeah.
Now that you've explained it a little
I'm
bit
not
more.
saying they are true. I'm saying,
Right.
what if they both are?
Like, yeah. There's
instance-
always a what if.
what if you got sick and one person says, oh, you have malaria.
Oh.
And the mosquito landed on you, gave you malaria.
Mm.
And then one person says, no, you got cursed by some black magic from someone in the tribe. What if they're both true? What if someone cursed you and you got malaria? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, interpreted different ways, but the outcome's the same.
interpreted different ways,
Essentially.
but the event is interpreted different ways, but both interpretations are true.
Yeah.
Or maybe more than one interpretation. Is
Either
true.
way,
And maybe they're not true. Maybe
Either
they're both
way.
wrong.
yeah. Okay. Calm down, Colton. You're freaking me out, man. Is this the 25%?
Oh God.
God. But yeah, like, that's a good point though,
Right.
because like both could be true
Yeah. Like
and not true at the same time.
we laugh at your dad or people like that. We laugh at simple
people that are hyper religious and see things as an act of God.
We think they're a joke.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, it's an eclipse, you dumbass.
but they could be right.
Exactly.
And then we're just like, well, fuck.
Well, maybe they're both, and that's what I'm saying. Maybe they're both right. It's
Yeah.
like, yep, it's saying the same thing in different ways.
Yeah.
Yep, the moon's going in front of the sun. It's a eclipse. God is mad, or God is trying to get your attention, or something. Something spiritual. It's like, well, what if they're both true? We can't rule them out.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I think a lot of this thinking is based off of today's Newtonian science, where computers are run on ones and zeros. It's either a 1 or a 0, right?
Yep. It's an algorithm.
Right. Of ones and zeros.
Yeah.
On or off.
Yeah.
Yes or no. Black, white, right? Binary.
Red, blue.
Red, blue. Binary.
Yeah.
But quantum thinking is maybe a 1, maybe a 0, maybe the same thing, maybe not the same thing, maybe like some weird rendition of a 1 and a 0. It's like it could be anything in between. It could be both. It could be none, right? So in that sort of thinking, you look at these, arguments, and you say, yeah, you're all right. All 3 of you are, all 12 of you are right.
Yeah.
God is everything that you just said and more. So you think the Christian God is your God. You think the Hindu God is your God. You think that the African,
all are your God.
they're all the same God, right?
Yeah.
Many roads, one destination
Just
type
different.
thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Like a different interpretation.
Yeah.
essentially. Like you said earlier, yeah. A different interpretation of the same thing.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even throughout time, think about the language barrier that we have today. If I send you to China, you're not going to fare very well. You don't know any Chinese.
Give me like 2 months and I might learn a little bit
You
to
might
get
know
by.
a little bit, but
Because
it takes
it's
you
like-
10 months.
yeah.
Or 2 months.
2 months.
Sorry.
I say 10 months, I'm not-
But so that's crazy. And then okay, so now I'm going to give you this book that's written by ancient Hebrews, and their language.
It's all in Latin.
It's part of it's in Latin, part of it's in ancient Hebrew, Aramaic, and it's
So you have
it's
to
written
have,
on
like-
animal skins. It's like
You have
okay.
to have like 4 different books in front of you
Holy
to
shit.
decipher one thing.
Well, I'm just talking about information getting passed along not only via culture but time.
Right.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
So think about the things that they're talking about, and they're writing metaphorically and cryptically, and they're going, how do we boil this information, this wisdom down so that people from any age will be able to understand it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we'll put it in a story, right? We'll put it in a myth. And when people read this myth, oh, go ahead.
Okay.
And when people read this myth, they'll be able to pick up and understand this wisdom that we've kind of hidden in these texts. And it's not just the Bible or the Bhagavad Gita or anything like that, but I think that's the best way to pass down information is through stories and through myths, because that's just how humans work. Now, the one thing I don't get, or one of the many things I don't get or understand, is that the people of biblical age or older, or shit, even Genghis Khan, Roman time, they could not fathom the internet and the things that have been born and created by the internet. I mean, I can barely understand it. I'm living in the age. How could you go back in time and tell them, like, this is what's going to happen, and try to show them one of these things and be like, all right, you want to send an idea through space? And what if you didn't tell them? What if you were like in the king's court of Egypt and you're like, see that guy over there? I'm going to tell him what I'm thinking. And you write down a piece of paper and you text it while they're not looking, and he gets it and he repeats it word by word. And you're just like, oh, you give like a dramatic, like a stare, like I'm transporting the information to you. This is the first step. Phones are like giant bricks. These are heavy. We have to put them in our pocket. We got to carry them around. They don't stay charged. Like, they are so primitive compared to what's coming down the pipe with molecular computers. Like, good fucking grief. Synthetic biology and molecular biology, molecular femto technology type shit that's coming down. Like, the things that will come out of that will be ineffable to our culture, let alone the cultures of the past. I mean, why can't we time travel? Why can't we do some of these things? Why couldn't we go back in time and view our ancient ancestors, or view a part of the planet that we don't know what was going on during a certain time? Why can't we go back in time and watch Cortez day by day conquer Mexico? Why can't we figure that stuff out?
Because there would be someone that would try to stop it.
But probably so. But I'm just saying, just the idea of like, nothing's impossible. When you go like, let's time travel. Like, oh, you can't time travel.
Right.
Maybe you can.
Okay. In the future, if we can time travel, our future selves will appear right here.
I've done that before.
Next to us.
Right.
With beer in hand, be like, guys,
they're here.
It works.
They're here. They're right here. But they're fifth dimension.
Oh.
What's up, dude? Fifth dimension, they did time travel, and they're fifth dimension, and they're right here, but they can't interact with the third dimension. Because you don't time travel through the third dimension, you time travel through higher dimensions. I'm just fucking guessing. I have no idea.
I mean, that's more believable than most ideas of time travel. So, like,
you're thinking your time travel, and not just you, like, this is what people think of when they think of time travel, is like, okay, we're here.
Like, you go through a portal and just, like Stargate.
You're thinking that there's going to be a bunch of smoke and lights and little firecrackers going off, and
people vomiting because it's
don't puke on my floor. But you're thinking like the podcast studio is going to have a bunch of smoke go up, and like there's going to be two of me and two of you. They look different because they're from the future, but they're us.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, I'm 422 years old. And it's like, you look younger than me. He's like, you can't believe what's coming down the technology pipe. We all live on Mars now. It's fucking awesome. We take vacations to Earth every once in a while, but Mars is the shit. What?
No.
You know what I mean, though? Like,
right.
Your anticipation of your idea. I used to think about this a lot. Like, your idea of the subject might be preventing you from understanding that subject.
Right.
So what you think you know about whatever it is could be preventing you from really knowing what that is.
Right.
So time travel, it's like, oh, time travel. You go through a portal.
Mm-hmm.
You go through a wormhole. It's like, maybe you don't. Maybe you just close your eyes and you're just there. You know, like, I can time travel. I can go back to my wedding day right now, and I can.
But you can't enact on anything.
No, but I can see it.
Yep.
I can go there though. I can remember everything that my mind picked up. I can remember, and I can remember who was there and kind of how it went. And is that accurate? I don't know. Probably not. But I can kind of time travel that way, you know?
Right.
So it's what's the definition of time travel?
Good question.
Faster than the speed of light. So, I mean, technically, the sun gives off light. It hits the earth and it bounces off earth. And those photons are still going through space, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a spaceship that goes faster than light and you can get behind, or if you can get in front of that light and turn around with the telescope and capture that light, a powerful enough telescope that can get back to Earth, and you can zoom in on Vietnam, you could see your dad, right?
Probably,
you would be
yeah.
seeing
Oh,
your
shit.
dad in Vietnam if you could get away from the Earth fast enough, faster than the light is leaving it.
Yeah.
Turn around with a powerful enough telescope and see that. You go far enough, you go 65 million years, you're going to see dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You keep going, if you're at the edge of that universe, okay, so let's pretend that this is the universe. This is the known universe.
Mm-hmm.
You're on this very edge. It's 15 billion years on the edge, or 15 trillion years on the edge. And you're on this little asteroid, and you have a powerful enough telescope to turn around and look at Earth. Earth isn't there.
No.
15 billion years ago, it's
There's
not.
nothing.
No.
It's just dust.
Okay, move in 5 trillion years. Now it's 10 trillion years ago. I don't even know. No, Earth is still not there.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, you could go so far away and turn around and look back at where Earth would be, and you would see, like, baby Earth.
Yeah.
And then you would see swampy Earth, and you would see ocean Earth, and then dinosaur Earth, and then ice age, and then people. It's fucking nuts. I guess that's theoretically. I'm not sure if that's provable or doable, but theoretically.
Probably not yet. But maybe one day. I don't know, man. I mean, science advances every day, so.
I mean, I've taken some strong doses of psychedelics, and while they have answered a lot of questions personally,
They've also left you with a lot
my
of questions.
God, they have really scrambled my mind on life and afterlife.
Yeah.
And the nature of reality and that kind of thing, as far as
I told you the story when I came into work, when Jake was still working with us, that I felt like I was in the future, the present, and the past all at the same time.
Yeah, I was actually just going to talk about that.
Like, it was crazy because, like,
called the infinite theory or something like that.
Yeah, it was like
infinity theory.
Wait a minute. Because it felt like I was looking at myself in the past when I was just laying there. But it also felt like I was already up and moving around the house when I wasn't. I was just like, Jesus, what is going on? It was weird. It was like a whole different level of my psyche that just became unlocked in a snap of a finger.
Right.
And then after everything was over, went right back into lockdown, and it's gone.
See, that doesn't make sense to me as far as consciousness.
Yeah.
Like, everyday consciousness is what we were talking about earlier, where I wake up, I go to work, I come home, I have dinner, I wake up, I go to work, which is fine. It's whatever.
Dinner,
It's
have weekends off. It's nice.
It's comfortable.
Lucky.
Yeah, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
But then there's these things that happen, like what you just told me, where time does not become linear. It turns into a sphere, and everything's happening at once.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, what the hell was that? That I just changed my brain chemistry around a little bit, and that's how I perceive time? Well, maybe that's the true way to perceive time.
Yeah.
Maybe my mind
maybe it's
is
just
protecting
a different
me.
way too.
It's-
Like
it's
maybe
just-
everyone perceives time differently.
Right.
Oh, sorry. And that, like, it was really weird for me in that state because it felt like I was there but I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But something always kept like dragging me. Like I would walk away and then come right back to that one spot, but I wouldn't move.
Right.
It was weird. I even told my friends who were watching me to make sure I wasn't like dead because like I couldn't move.
Oh,
It was
wow.
weird.
Yeah.
It was so strong I couldn't move, but it felt like I was moving around the room and talking to them and walking. And it felt like I was also behind myself in the previous conversation. I was
Watching.
outside
Right.
watching all this unfold as I was coming back.
Yeah.
And like I think at even one point in time I met myself in the middle. Because I remember talking to myself
Right.
and answering my own questions.
So what is that? What is that? And people be like, well, you're on drugs. And it's like, okay, yeah, I was.
But something happened in my brain chemistry that unlocked something that really freaked me out, and then boom, here we are.
Okay, it's like, oh, they're on drugs. Okay, you're on drugs. That doesn't blow your mind that it's a little bit of molecules could do that to you? Like, just a little bit?
opens it opens floodgates to different like your brain.
That's crazy.
Like how much of our brain can we access?
100%. 100%.
But like, what if it unlocks it all at the same time?
Okay, so that's a little bit different.
I know,
and that's what mushrooms and LSD do. Is you have this primary brain network. What do they call that? I think it's primary network or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's the way that the structures of your brain talk to each other and share information. But when you take psilocybin or you're on LSD,
it's like everything has the green light to go.
Everything, exactly.
So you're just like, you can't move, but it feels like you're everywhere at once.
So, okay, and then so they talk about that, you know, oh God, what's his name? He wrote Doors of Perception, Aldous Huxley. Aldous Huxley, he argued that is true reality, that the psychedelic world is the true reality. But you can't operate as a Homo sapien and survive and pass on your genetics if you're in that state all the time.
Yeah.
So what he was saying is that your mind goes, oh shit, close those doors. Close the doors. Make sure all he thinks about is pussy, food, and sleep. Okay? Great? Okay, great.
Not the universe.
No. There's tigers out there. There's lions. There's bacteria. There's everything wants to kill this guy. Make sure he just gets another girl pregnant and has more humans. Procreate the species.
Yeah.
And then you take a little bit of peyote and that door just goes poof, blows open, and you're like, oh shit, this is truth. This is the reality.
Yeah.
That's what Aldous Huxley would say. Now, I could see some flaws in that too. It could be just a playground. It could be, that's the peyote world. You take peyote. I've never done peyote, but you take peyote and you go into that realm for a little bit, and it's just a virtual world. It could be as easy as getting World of Warcraft mixed up with the real life.
Yeah.
You're saying, so for instance, if Aldous Huxley were to make that argument with World of Warcraft, he's saying that's the real world. You know, we're all elves and gorgons and everything. And it's like, no.
We don't perceive each other.
Exactly.
Right.
How could we procreate if everyone was playing fucking World of Warcraft? It's like, okay, I get it.
Right.
It makes sense, but that's just a fake world. Look, it's just a little virtual world. That could also be happening too, you know. Just with the psychedelics, it's just that powerful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you take strong mushrooms or you have a good acid hit, like you are going.
Some doors open for sure.
Some doors open,
and you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. You notice things that you just don't notice.
Yeah.
That's what Hamilton Morris was talking about. Are you familiar with Hamilton Morris?
Negative.
Oh, man. He's really awesome. He does a show on Vice and HBO called Hamilton Morris's Pharmacopoeia. And it's just all about different drugs. That's him right there.
He looks like John Lennon.
he's got a little geek. There he is.
Oh, yeah. He definitely looks like John Lennon.
Kind of a geek-looking guy, but he's so cool. Anyway, he was talking about how people will go to the Amazon in Peru or the Brazil or wherever to drink ayahuasca with the shaman and everything. It's like he was talking about the value of doing psychedelics within your own realm, like within the world that you live. For instance, his example was you take a good strong hit of acid and you sit around your apartment and you realize, God, there's a lot of clutter around here. And you realize, this is kind of making me sick. This is what's stressing me out, is that closet that's overflowing with just shit, and the kitchen has shelves that aren't organized. And it's like, oh, okay. It's like the benefit of doing those things to upset your life rhythm can be beneficial in showing you certain things. Like, look, the reason you feel like shit is because you're not going out. You're not working out. Look at your trash can. That's full of candy bar wrappers. Like,
yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was a really cool observation.
No, yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. Wait, how did you just do that without actually?
2 fingers.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, magic mouse. Look, right down here.
Oh, sorry.
It's a Mac. Yeah. It's a Mac thing.
Whatever, dude. Asus for life.
I'm a PC guy.
Asus is PC, Colton.
I know.
Oh, okay.
So I'm agreeing with you. Like, I probably will not ever buy another Mac.
Right. Anyway, back to our conversation of different realities and how we cope to deal with them. That would be awesome, actually, to go and do that and like experience something like that and get a greater understanding of like the world and nature, and like it's kind of like, you know how you said you have like the spiritual thing,
right?
the religious thing. Well, actually, religion
Mental.
and spiritual go together.
Right.
Mental and then physical. That could be most people's spiritual thing.
Taking drugs.
Is yeah.
Yeah.
Is taking drugs to get a better comprehension of reality and understanding.
See, I agree to a point.
Now, I can see where that could be like an addictive state due to the drugs.
Well, like I said earlier, the psychedelics that I've done have answered a lot of questions, and then they've given me a lot of questions to try to answer.
Right.
So if you're just some person, some dude or gal that's just taking these by herself, I don't know if that's good. Because you could get really spun out and really like, I mean, I get spun out staying at the house. If I stay at the house for like 2 or 3 days and I don't leave, I don't go to the grocery store, I don't go get gas or anything, I get a little bit weird.
Antsy,
I get a little bit weird, you know, like I see someone, I'm like, howdy, you know, like,
how do I talk to you, fellow human being?
Exactly. So now you add in some really potent mind altering substances, and it's like, you gotta be real careful. You better have some people. And that's what I always say is you better have some people that maybe have done it more than you have, or can give you pointers.
People that understand it better and can give you advice on how to cope with it.
I think so. And
to
you better
keep you from doing.
You better trust them.
Yeah.
Because it can get hairy.
Yeah. Like with Taylor, when you guys were babysitting her.
Yeah, that was recreation though.
Nah, but you know what I
mean. Allegedly something happened, but.
Go on.
No. I'm just covering. Never mind.
It's cool.
Anyway.
Allegedly. Yeah. Like it's good that you guys were with her because she was so out of her mind that it could have been bad.
If she was by herself.
Yes.
Yeah. If she would have laid on her back and puked, because she did puke. She was drunk.
Yeah.
Could have drowned in her own vomit.
Yep.
I mean, there's all that sort of thing. So, yes, can drugs expand your mind and help you see the world in a different way? Absolutely. Can they take your mind and fucking scramble eggs them? Yes.
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 Most certainly.
So if that happens to you,
have people around.
Have some people around.
Actually, have experienced people that you will trust with your life around.
I think that's good. And I also think I think you have to have time to process.
Right.
So, and that's what people get wrong. It's like, go to a party and they're like, fucking acid. And then they get crazy and they drink and everything. And then the next day they go back to work or they go out with friends. It's like, listen.
It's like you need that day and the day after.
At least. At least.
Yeah.
You set aside that night. It's Friday night. You take your acid, or you take your acid in the afternoon. You go on your long thing. There's going to be epiphanies. There's going to be scary moments. There's going to be amazing moments.
And then you take that second day to recollect on what you went through.
You get your journal out and you just start dumping it. Or you find someone that you or trust and you go, this is what happened. And you spiel your whole thing and you go through and you're like, yeah, there was one time where I had a vision of my dad and there were 10 of him. And each one of my dad was a different age. There was my dad as a baby, my dad as a 10-year-old, my dad as a 90-year-old, like all the way through.
Yep.
And then you can kind of work through that. You're like, I don't know what it means. And it's like, as you say it out loud, you might be able to decipher it a little bit more.
That's what
Some
I did.
of it's nuts.
Yeah. What I was talking to you about earlier, how my state of mind was in the past, the present, and the future.
Right.
When I told Devin that, he's like, I've never felt that way before.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, and it's also been 2 years since I've done anything of this extreme.
Right.
And like, when I was telling him everything, he just listened and was
That's
like,
what
hey,
you need.
This is like I'm glad you told me.
Right.
Because we need to talk about this. Because if you just sit there and fester on it, it's going to eat you alive.
And that's the book. This one right here. That's why this book is so good. How to Change Your Mind. Psychedelic book by
Can I
Michael.
borrow this?
I'm not done with it yet.
Damn it.
When I'm done, I'll let you borrow it.
Okay.
But he talks about that. Go out and buy your copy now. Use the code word SciFi And Friends to save 20%.
Wait, really?
I wish.
Oh, I got really excited.
But what he was talking. The FBI's here. Kyle, they've come for you. Hi.
How's he going?
That's fine. No, but I was talking about the book. It was saying how it's so important to talk about those things and how a lot of people out there have had a psychedelic experience but
they don't want to talk about it.
They don't. They just put it in a folder in their mind that's like crazy drug experience.
And then when they do something along those lines again, Floodgates 2.0 happens and it just keeps building and building and building.
Yes.
And then next thing you know, you're just like, I need to talk to somebody.
Exactly.
But I can't.
I got to get this out
and
of my
you're just
system.
like, okay, well now I need a counselor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you afford a counselor? Probably not, you know. But that's the whole thing about
But through Downstream, you can't.
That's the whole thing with ayahuasca is they have a session at night. You wake up the next day and you have a decompression day or two where you talk about things. You're on a super clean diet. You're eating like plants and fish. It's like completely clean.
Something to get you back.
Yeah, and you well, I mean, you might have a traumatic thing. Aubrey might drink ayahuasca and die 1,000 times. And you might watch yourself and you might go, I was shown my life reoccurring over 10,000 years, and I lived every death in a row, all the way down to when I was in the jungle. That's going to take a lot of processing power to kind of make sure that you're okay with all that.
Like,
was it real? Was it not real? Are you okay with that dying? Was the death traumatic? Was
did you
scary?
actually die, but like you're still alive? Whereas each of those deaths just a part of you that you used to be or that you will be that just died.
That's like, kind of makes me think of Rick and Morty. Like every time they go to a different
realities.
Universe, exactly.
Yeah.
How many times have we been having a podcast and someone robbed the house and blew our brains out?
And we're still alive.
Kelsey came home and found us dead.
But we're still
not in this universe, but another
one
universe,
possibly.
Right?
And I think about that all the time when I'm driving. When I'm driving, I was like, I could have gotten wrecked just now and been like, I could have died on my way home. I could have died of a heart attack on my way home, but I'm still alive. Just that was.
Doesn't that make you feel thankful though?
I'm thankful, and I'm also really worried that the next time could be me.
Right.
And then you're sitting there watching yourself in a different universe. Like, what if that's how it is, like, after death? You're just stuck in purgatory watching different versions of yourself.
Man, it'd be such a boring show.
I know. Like, it'd just be you doing this all the fucking
Exactly. Like, oh, he's doing another podcast.
Oh, great. What are they going to talk? Oh, wow, it's the same thing last
Someone
week.
fast forward to when the bear eats him. God dang.
Bear comes to T-Rex. We're going all out with this. Animatronic, crazy Skynet shit comes through the fucking window.
It's getting close where we got to go to, if we're going to go to jiu-jitsu. But my question to end on this is, would you rather get eaten by a T-Rex or a raptor?
Oh, T-Rex for sure.
Really?
Those fuckers eat you in one bite. Raptor's like, I'm going to eat bits and pieces of you at a time as I impale you with my fucking hangnails.
I have to do a raptor because T-Rex is so scary. They're so big. I can't handle the anticipation of getting eaten. I can't handle that part where I'm out in the field and it's just like.
That's true. Raptors do go for like the quick kill. T-Rex is like, hey, I got a big mouth and I'm going to eat you.
And it's going to come up and it's going to smell you, maybe bump you. It's like, it's just so big. It makes me want to throw up right now just thinking about it. Like the terror.
You know what I'm tempted to do right now, T-Rex? Shove my arms in your fucking nostrils and ride this bitch out and be like, you're not going to eat me.
It's so loud. It's going to be.
Oh, dude, ear piercing.
A raptor.
But see, with the T-Rex, I don't know if this is true or not because obviously it's never fucking happened. Don't move. Just stand still.
Are you going to try that out? Are you going to be the one to test that theory?
I'll be like this. I will stand. I'm dead. Oh, I don't, dude. I feel like if a T-Rex a real T-Rex came into our dimension, I'm using dimension, and was just like right outside as we walk out, I'd be like this. Oh, fuck. And I'd try not to move, but I feel like my heart would be beating so fast, my body would move on its own.
Yeah, I mean, how do you not move?
Like, you have to fight every instinct to move.
Oh, jeez.
You just have to be like this. Oh, God, I'm dying of a
It'd be
heart attack.
terrible, dude. That's why I said I'm just going to go for raptors. Because
like, would it be like a horde of raptors to make up for the T-Rex? Because if it's like a horde of raptors, I'll fucking do that.
Raptors are
There's like one raptor, I'm going to be fighting that motherfucker, and I'm going to lose, but I'm going to be fighting him.
Sure, you can fight all you want.
Okay, I choose the raptor.
You're dying, though.
Oh, yeah, it's a velociraptor.
It's going to be scary. It's going to be painful.
This would be me.
But I can't do the T-Rex.
Like in Jurassic Park 2, where that guy's hunting the raptors.
Right.
And he's just like, you cheeky bug.
You son of a bitch. That's not Jurassic Park 2. That's Robert Muldoon in Jurassic Park.
Is it the first Jurassic Park?
Yeah, and he goes, clever girl.
Oh,
all right, anyway, we got to go.
Yeah.
Aubrey, thanks for coming on the podcast,
yeah,
dude.
No problem. I can't wait to die at jiu-jitsu tonight. It's going to be great.
No, I'm proud of you for changing up your lifestyle. And
I needed it. It needed to happen.
No, it's good. Keep up with it. You know, figure out a way to keep going, whether you write a check or picture or whatever it is. Get your motivation and stick with it because it feels good now. It feels good now, but there will be a time where you're like, fuck it. I promise. Happens to everyone. Happens to Alec.
Like the breaking point, and then I'm gonna be like, nope, I gotta keep doing it.
But you gotta be ready for it because it's gonna be powerful.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's go fucking roll. Everyone, thanks for listening to the SciFi And Friends podcast today. I don't know what to say. There's going to be another episode soon. Casey's getting a computer built, and he's going to start editing a bunch of these podcasts. So we have 3 editors. There's me, Caleb, and Casey. Infinite's doing its thing. It's growing. 1020. Soon we'll have 1020 up, and I'd like to start improv shows and practices again. I think improv's good for your mind. What's up?
If I can jump in, don't forget to check out the Honey Pot on Facebook.
Oh, go. Yeah.
I made that for my parents. We got pictures of the product on there, prices, everything. So feel free to go on Facebook, search Honey Pot,
from
ask
Neosho or
Racine. It's
Racine.
In between Neosho, Seneca, and Job. It's
the
like
Honey Pot from Racine. You can get local grown honey, organic. Good for allergies, good for digestion, all kinds of stuff. And I've had honey pot before. Richard gave me some honey. Actually, you did. Actually, Aubrey did. And it had a cinnamon taste to it. It was fucking delicious. So go get yourself some.
Flavors do
honey.
Vary depending on the crop around.
Yeah, that's true. It changed all the time. But when I had it, was great. Anyway, thanks for listening today. We will see you soon. Everybody have a great week. Peace.
787.
787 departure frequency notified will be 125 minutes.
25-7, thanks.
SciFi wins.